Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. It's a beautiful day, an absolute gorgeous day, and I'm happy you're here with us because we're doing Masters of the Universe again. And Last time we did it, it was a lot of fun. It's been a few years, but He-Man's one of those stories that has so many different characters everybody get involved with, and it's got, of course, a pretty interesting history. But like I said, it's an absolutely gorgeous day. Hopefully, you guys have had a beautiful day as well. I do have a hot cup of coffee. It's fresh and brand new, and I'm sitting here with a bunch of friends. So we're going to get to it.
Well,
How you doing, Jeff?
Well, I'm doing swell, Chester.
That's good. How's the book? How are the books doing? You're like on number three's coming out, right?
No, I'm working on number 5 now.
Oh, geez, I
Yes.
wasn't paying attention. Um, you are really being prolific then, aren't you?
Well, as prolific as I can be. I haven't been writing as much as I need to.
Uh,
So, been
well,
trying
you
to
ha-
sell books.
Well, you have that's we got to do that. You do need to sell books, but you've had a little bit of a medical issue you had to deal with, and I'm assuming you have a job as well.
2 medical issues. I have a bad shoulder
Hmm.
and I had a hip replacement.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. Titanium?
Yeah. As far as I know, it's plastic that they it's a Lego hip replacement.
Oh
They
really?
snap it together and yeah. No,
Yeah.
I've actually seen the X-ray of it. You really don't
Uh,
want to see you really don't want to see what they do to you when they're
no,
doing
no,
it.
is it
yeah,
chewing gum and duct tape?
yeah, don't do that. Yeah, chewing gum, duct tape. That sounds about right, Alan.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I got a couple of artificial things in me. I got plastic on the left side, and I got titanium in the wrist. So, you know,
yeah. But
good
this
thing
thing is
though,
like
it doesn't
if
set
you've
off
ever
that
se- if
metal
if you've
detector though.
ever if you've ever seen a a whaler's harpoon,
Yeah,
the end of the harpoon,
yeah.
the one part of the implant looks exactly like that.
Oh joy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's creepy. It's creepy.
So no jumping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Okay. I got it. Well, hopefully I don't have to have that problem. I've never had any joint issues. Mostly my real thing is my left shoulder and my left knee. But
yeah. Well,
hopefully,
that's what I'm going through right now. Is because I had radiation therapy.
Oh,
I'm thinking that we're thinking that, or at least I'm thinking that the my right shoulder, because that's where they found the tumor, and
hmm.
that's the one that they irradiated the most. My right shoulder is kind of damaged, and so I'm going through. This is my second round of physical therapy, trying to loosen up that all the tendons and stuff. So
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
takes up a
Well,
lot of time.
when you get older, things start going that way. My main problem with my shoulder and my knee is just football. I played football since I was, I don't know, 6, 7, something like that. And yeah, it just comes back at you. How about you, Alan? What about your ailments? You're not a young man.
no, everything hurts. My lower
That's
back,
true.
especially from sitting, my hips.
Oh yeah,
Um, the
yeah.
only thing artificial in me though is the microplastics from years of food shelf
Oh,
pantry foods.
that's fair. I've
But
avoided
other than
that.
that,
Yeah. You know,
I try to stretch.
yeah.
I got. I'm almost to the point that I'm about to buy yoga pants, but
Hmm.
yoga has helped.
No, I hear
Oh,
it
that's
does.
good.
I hear it does. I hear a lot of sports guys do yoga, and it's very beneficial. Yeah. I've actually
I don't
spent
know.
more of my life here in Asia than I have in America now. I've got to that point.
And I just do the basic stuff from YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
not no expert. I'm not twisting myself into a pretzel or anything.
Sure, but as we get older now, Melissa
Pretzel.
here is younger than us. But Do you have any ailments?
Um, not really.
Well, that's good.
Not
That's
even
good to hear. That's good
crippling
to hear.
depression.
No?
I mean, no, not that bad. I mean,
Uh,
I'm getting better. I kind of dealing a little bit with like anxiety and problems with distractions and stuff. That yeah, more like emotional or like mental attitudes. But I'm finding like I'm improving my prayer life and trying to find ways
Mhm.
to kind of help me stay on point to get the things I want to get done in my life done. while I'm still here and healthy and stuff.
Sure. Well, I can solve your problem immediately. Are you alive?
Yes,
Oh, that's good. Do you have family and friends about you?
I do.
So be done with it.
Huh?
Meaning, why would you have any
He-
depression at all?
Oh, I mean, I'm not depressed, but I'm just,
He's anxious.
I quite like, it's more like anxious and maybe probably I feel like I have some like a disciplinary issues.
Hmm.
Trying to, I have all these things I want to do and I want to make, and it's just maybe I need to change my diet. I don't know. Do I have to do something to help with my concentration?
I know.
I
Um,
hire a
Oh,
lady. In,
was
I
that?
hire a lady in leather for that.
yeah.
But
Yeah. You gotta understand he's sarcastic. You shouldn't listen to him, Melissa. Um, but no.
what?
Yeah, actually, something that he said earlier. Why don't you take up yoga?
Yoga, huh?
I mean, if you want to
Sure.
improve your discipline and your mental, I mean, do it seriously though. Don't do like the little, yoga jazzercise girls. Do yoga.
Right.
I'm just saying that actually is the whole point is to create self-discipline. That's the whole point of yoga. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and
I'll
it
look
and
into
of
that.
course it'll keep you loose and things like that. So yeah. Anyway, now that we've got everyone ailments under control, but how about you, Doug Blue Moon? You must have all kind of mental problems.
Oh,
So I'll,
he's
I'll
praising
just,
the DDP yoga.
yeah, that's true. I don't know what that is, and I really shouldn't ask. I have a feeling.
Oh, Dustin Diamond Page. I always say Dustin Diamond.
Oh, Diamond Page. Yeah, no, that's a guy. That's an unsung hero right there. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy has done amazing thing for because wrestlers, sure it's a choreographed dance, but those guys put their body through hell, dude. And they get
Mhm.
just busted up. And this guy has a has a kind of yoga program that helps them not only to just function in life, but to thrive. I mean, I've seen guys just bent over and busted up, like Mick Foley, for instance, that are moving freely. And yeah, Diamond Dallas Page has done an amazing job. And good for him. Good for him. But yeah, yoga is
His name
very
is
useful.
his name is Diamond Dallas Page. I always confuse it and call him Dustin Diamond because that was Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Oh, was it?
So
Well,
be
of
careful.
course,
Yeah.
you have the son of Dusty Rhodes. Uh,
Oh
Dustin.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too.
Yeah.
A lot of Dusties out there.
Yeah, Gold Dust. But now that's another guy that's had some issues, but he's one of the best actual in-ring generals I've ever seen. Right? Amazing. We kind of got off there with that. But nevertheless, hey, Mike.
Hello.
Well, we're doing He-Man today, and there's so many characters, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But I guess today is the day to what are your ailments?
What do you mean?
What's wrong with you, other than the obvious?
Like, do you have
Well,
a
today
wooden leg?
today ends in day, so it's like a box of chocolates, dude. Never
It
know what
is.
you're gonna get.
That's true.
You
So
know?
you're pretty healthy then. Good for you, man.
Yeah. You hit a certain age and you get the mystery illness.
You
I love
do.
it.
It does happen, yeah. But actually, for my age, I think I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any
What
major problems.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Chester, but I heard you talk about Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about wrestling, or were you just talking about DDP yoga?
No, DDP yoga. We're talking about how of an unsung hero Dallas Page is.
Oh, that is going to be his legacy, way more than wrestling.
Oh yeah,
And,
way more.
if you ever see the rehab he does for the other guys that get beat up in the ring,
Yeah.
He's a hero.
He is a hero, dude. It's amazing what he's doing. It's really cool. Because like I said,
Yeah.
those guys they just tear the hell out of their body and they do it week after week after week.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really nice you got a guy there because clearly what Dallas has done is he's figured it out. He's figured out how
Yep.
to recoup the athlete's body. And he's doing amazing things. Actually, I hear his success rate seems to be higher than even like say the NFL dudes. So
Well, you know what? I've been a lifelong wrestling fan.
sure.
Wait. Are we talking Diamond Dallas Page?
We are, yes.
Yes.
I guessed from just that few last little seconds. Okay, go ahead. Fine.
But those guys never get an off season. So anybody that is in the quote unquote major leagues, a lot of those guys have big time respect for them because first off, that mat that they land on is like a slab of concrete. So people don't understand what they go through. Performance art, yes. But still, there's nothing fake about what they go through.
No, theirs is more professional, but I've actually been in the ring once in my life, not in that
Okay.
way. So I doubt the ring was the same as what they use, but I did go to a state fair and I wrestled a bear.
Nice.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I lost. Damn bear.
Dang you, bear.
So were you like after that? Were you like Happy Gilmore when you got your rebound and you met your own Chubbs Peterson that was missing a hand?
No. It was just something you could do that they were doing at the fair. They would wrestle a bear because you're not going to stand up to the bear. And I was a teenager, and I was like, yeah, I beat that bear because I was linebacker, and I thought I was badass. But a bear will humble your ass real quick.
Yes.
They're way stronger, and I'm a strong dude for a human. I'm pretty strong. But nah, you ain't nothing. That bear just kind of wink at you and you fall down.
Yes.
Yeah. But the good thing is the bear was having fun though. So good for the bear. Yeah, he was enjoying himself.
There you go.
Yeah. At least I didn't get like the guy who came after me and the bear ended up on top of him. Ooh.
Oh, really?
No, I just got knocked down. Well, I got almost knocked down a couple times, but I didn't lose my footing. And I come back, and then finally he just kind of arm bared me, just put me down. And I was like, all right, fine. And then I patted him on the arm, and I walked out.
You have a right to arm bears, dude.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't think you're probably not allowed to do that anymore. I would
don't
imagine
think so.
with all these regulations on everything, but that was the thing when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all that's gone.
Like I said, it was fun. The bear's fine. You're not going to hurt the bear. And the bear, like I said, the bear was having a good old time. He was happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's the only time I've actually stood on one of those surfaces because I did boxing, but I never got in the ring. It was just like training, right? So it's the only time in my life I've actually stood in a ring. And it's hard as hell, dude.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That ring is very stiff.
Yeah, very stiff. Now I don't know what the wrestling guys use, but I assume it's similar.
It's a series of 2x12s.
Yeah, I've seen him build one. That's true.
Yeah.
Doug says, he really has helped a lot. He has, dude. Jake the Snake, Scott Hall, of course, Butterbean. But yeah, no, dude, he did amazing things with Butterbean. Butterbean actually stands up straight now. Butterbean was busted up bad. Jim Foley, of course.
One too. It's older. Before he had success with wrestlers, he had a veteran. I can't remember what branch of the service he was in, but he was overweight, way overweight. Couldn't have surgery because of the size he was, and they told him he'd never walk again and everything else. And guy never needed surgery.
Yeah, no,
Dude.
the weight is the big deal, dude, because, I had a lot more aches and pains before. Of course, it's been a long time now, but I was younger, but still, I had a lot more aches and pains until I lost that 90 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's rough.
yeah, because now I'm at like 103 kilos, which is what? 210, 215, something like that. And for my height, it's perfect. I feel great. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you said you're 6 foot what?
6'3". Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good weight.
Yeah. No, for me, it's just fine. And like I said, I keep my blood moving every day, and I think that's really the thing. I mean, if you want to go to the gym and try to get a rocked out body, you go for it. But keep in mind, you're gonna have to. That's a lot of work to maintain it. But if you just want to feel good and have energy, just do a little bit of exercise every day. It doesn't even have to be much. I do like 30 minutes. It's not a big deal.
If you walk a mile or two every day, or 3 if you can, That's everything.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you can go pound all the weights you want, but if you go for a walk, believe it or not, that's your whole body that you're putting to work, and that is the
Sure.
most significant exercise you could do.
Sure. And if you have any kind of ability to go swimming somewhere, that's amazing.
That-
Swimming's
Yep.
really good. But no, I just sprint up the mountain, I push on a rock, and then I jog down. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I like
There you
isometrics.
go.
I've always liked isometrics. But
Okay.
but yeah, no, I mean it doesn't take a lot. Just a little bit of activity, keep that blood moving, make sure you don't become decrepit, and get the weight down, man. But
Mm-hmm.
nevertheless, we're doing He-Man today. Jeff, He-Man us.
Oh, you know what?
That's very He-Man.
Not really. I was kind of expecting him to say, "By the power of Grayskull." I was kind of that's what I was expecting.
Oh,
I
you're
never watched.
hopeful.
I never watched He-Man.
Yeah, no, I
I watched
wasn't a big fan either. We were a bit too old, Jeff, when that came out. But I saw a few episodes though.
I had Sharon's, so I got to watch it with my Sharon.
Yeah, no,
My
that's
one
true. Kids, yeah. But yeah, I was a bit too old for He-Man to be fair. But that's one of the biggest hits of all time when it comes to cartoons, man. It was such a smash hit. That and Transformers was just all over the place, dude. Crazy.
Yes.
Original
Um,
craze almost.
What do you say there, Alan?
It's like almost the original craze, like when the kids started going for like toys and stuff. My era was Ninja Turtles, right? And then the era
Sure.
after me was
Sure.
Power Rangers. But before
Yeah.
me, it was G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man.
Yeah,
Those
that's
were
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I had a bunch of GI Joes. I actually had one of the original. Well, had I was allowed to look at one of the original GI Joes. You know, the big 12-inch dolls. It was in a box
Oh yeah.
on the top of a dresser, and I could look at it.
It's,
That's
Barbie's
all you could
boyfriend.
do. You couldn't play with it or what?
No, I wasn't allowed to touch it. It was my Uncle Dave's, and it was not allowed. Although it's weird, I don't know why he was so possessive of that. Which is, it's fine. But he gave me like all his comic books he had from when he was a kid. So I had that's how I'd already started reading comics, but he noticed it and he just gave me a trunk. I actually in my life have received a total of 2 trunks of comic books.
Nice.
Yeah, and of course that was all the old stuff. A lot of it was before the code came in, so it was a lot of horror and Western stuff and war stuff.
Oh, you got the ETs with that, huh?
Yeah. It was really cool. And of course, I started collecting, and because in the 80s, I was able to pick up. Mainly, I focused on Spider-Man. It was my favorite at that time, and I was able to pick up issue 1 and a whole bunch of the early stuff before I was born, of course. Pretty cheaply. These days, I don't even want to know what it costs. That's scary. Like a Spider-Man #1. How much is that? Anybody know?
The average
lot.
book nowadays, like just the 24, is like $5 to $6 now.
Yeah, it might be. I picked it up for I think it was I picked it up for like I think it was almost $600 when I bought it. And the
Nice.
other ones were much cheaper. But I think it was around $600. Let me see what it is. I'm going to check it. You guys do your thing here. So Alan, what are you working on
Oh, I
today?
think you meant I'm going to do Beastman.
Oh, Beastman. Well, which one?
The Beastman. That's his name, Beastman.
Oh,
Beastman.
the Beastman. Okay. Well, of course there are Beastmen though. So
There's Beastmen, but there's a guy like the Skeletor's #1 hench.
Big orange fur ball.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Because mainly Skeletor, who is an Eternian himself, but he controls the hordes of Beastmen, right?
Yes.
Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. They're a bit pricey. Let me see if they give me an actual number, though. There were over 1 million of them produced. So it's not like there's nothing of them. Like I said, I did pay a little bit for it in the 80s.
I thought you were talking about shelf price. I didn't know you were talking about collector's price.
Yeah, I'm talking about collector's price.
Yeah, you can't touch them anymore. They're so far out of hand. It's getting to the point that the common buyer will no longer, or the collector will no longer be able to own any of those.
You guys talking about Beanie Babies?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I made a mistake. I didn't put in Amazing Spider-Man because that's what it's actually called. Hold on a second. Internet being
Well,
pedantic. Hold on.
if you really want to get specific, you want to go look for what is it? Amazing Fantasy.
Okay.
Amazing Fantasy 14.
Holy
I
shit.
can't remember.
Chester, if you want to make some money off of comics, what you do is you contact China and they'll make you counterfeit comics.
That is fair. That is fair. No, I own it. I just I'm not going to sell it anyway. I'm not that type. But I was just
There
kind
are
of
more
looking.
mint condition. There are more issues of Hulk 340 or not 340, 180, the Wolverine one. There's more issues of that now than there were when it was printed.
I bet there are. Those Chinese, man. Let's see
Yep.
here.
And they're
The
perfect.
record sale in a perfectly mint version was 1.3, almost 1.4 million. Mine, it's pretty much mint, but I guess it would probably fall into near mint. So you're looking around 250 grand. So that was a good investment, I guess, Alan.
Sell it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I ain't selling it. No way.
Sell it. Buy me
No.
a car.
No.
Come on.
He's gonna say
Well,
Spider-Man
cool
got him in
car,
this
Uncle
villa
Chester.
in Malta.
Mhm.
Nah,
He's
I
going to
mean,
live in Popeye Village.
yeah, I have a few number ones, but mostly I was really focused on Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man run all the way up until they came out with the new Spider-Man comic in what, 90, 91 was it?
The McFarlane
Yeah,
number
those are
one.
the ones that are
Yeah,
not
yeah,
worth
yeah.
much.
Yeah. No, they're not, but I mean, I have a complete collection of Amazing Spider-Man up to that moment. That was really
That's
what I
cool.
focused
they're
on.
cool
I
to
have a
have,
number
but
one from Green Lantern. I have first appearance. Well, of course, I have first appearance of Punisher. Yeah, I got a few things. Not a lot, really. I have hardly any DC stuff. Like I said, I got that original Green Lantern run. I got the Death of Superman, of course. I have that one. I remember exactly where and when I bought it.
That should buy you another island at this point.
No way. They
Yeah.
made tons of those things, dude.
I'm joking, dude.
Do you still wear your black armband that came with it?
No,
Every day. Every day.
every day. But
Never forget. Never
no,
forget.
but I was a kid of the 80s and I was really into collecting comic books. It was like the only thing in my life I've actually truly collected.
So you'll appreciate this, Chester. Last night, Mrs. Banana and I watched Dream a Little Dream with the Coreys,
Right.
and I was more like, the movie was fine, but I was more interested in what comics that they had ripped apart and taped on the walls of their room.
Mm.
Right. Sure.
I don't know if you remember that movie or not, but
I've never seen it. No, I never saw Dream a Little Dream. No.
it's another Corey movie, but their room had comics with just select pages just ripped out and taped to the wall, and going, man, what comics did they have?
Right. No, I get it. No, I do that too.
I always look at the when they walk by spinner racks in stores. Always look to see what's on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually,
like RoboCop, there's all these Rom the Space Knight comics on, on the shelf.
I have all of those, dude. I love Rom. Yeah, Rom was really cool. I doubt it's worth anything though.
No, but I mean it will be, because I think he's getting a renaissance, if you will.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was fun to comic. It was a cool idea they had behind that. Of course, it's another
They made a toy of
sale.
him.
They did. They did.
They made a new toy of him recently.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Because Marvel has the license, I guess. Oh, and Marvel had the license because of the comic, and then Hasbro has the license because of they bought Milton Bradley or whoever it was that made the original toy.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
So
I
they were
remember
able
seeing
to
a
like
little
do
documentary
the
on it a
character.
few years back, yeah. But I did like Rom. Rom was a lot of fun. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of, but I saw like a little, like a headline trailer. I haven't watched it, but that kind of noisy guy who goes on about men's rights, what's his name? Um, they tried to arrest him in like Poland or something.
Oh,
Brie Larson?
Tater
No,
Tot.
no,
What's
Andrew
his name?
Tate, Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
good
guy.
lord.
Which, yeah, he's noisy. But young men like what he has to say, though. It's interesting. But nevertheless, he went and
That
met
means they're
with
gay.
some. He met with some Saudi prince or something. And that Saudi prince has the biggest and best comic collection on earth. And
Was he delivering children?
no, but
He's got
but I
Action Comics #1, doesn't he?
I I am gonna have to go watch that. What do you say?
I said I've heard about that. Doesn't he have one of the most pristine copies of Action
Why-
Comics #1?
He does, and
Probably.
actually, it's not even that. He has the very, very first appearance of Superman, which
Oh,
isn't
that's
Action
right.
Comics, right?
Right. No, it was the World's Fair.
Yeah. So he has that, but no, I'm gonna go watch that, which is weird for me because I
Yeah.
usually don't really care much for the Andrew Tate dude.
Nah.
So Dom had a big collection of them too.
Dom, you mean
Or not,
Vin
yes,
Diesel?
Saddam Hussein.
Oh, Hussein.
No,
Oh,
Saddam Hussein.
I didn't know that.
They were mainly burned up, when they bombed his palace and all that. But when they raided it, they found cars that had been missing for like 90 years, like the rarest cars in existence. And then they found a whole bunch of like comics and just random collectibles.
Yeah. Yeah, comics are fun, man, especially if you're of that age. These days, comics have become extremely polluted and just nonsense. They're not the fun they used to be, at least in America. And it's unfortunate, but when I was a kid, man, comics were awesome because I read a lot as a kid, right? But the comic is, of course, a very different type of experience than, say, a novel. But I just loved them when I was a kid, like so many other people, right?
Yeah, I'll shill for a minute for some guys I respect that are still putting out good books, but you have to go through their crowdfunding campaigns, and that I enjoy Graham Nolan's work. I enjoy Aaron Lopresti's stuff. In fact, his last book that he put out, which I think you can still get on his store, was Kit Carter. Oh,
Yeah.
that is some of the funniest comics I've read in a very it actually. It had me laughing as I was reading it. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
I'll agree. It's a chef's kiss.
Yeah, there are some great stuff that still come out. You're right, of course.
You can pull up any Doug TenNapel comic. Those will always they're evergreen. They're always good.
Yeah, I never read any of his comics till like the used bookstore opened up near me, and they had someone donated a whole collection, and I was like, oh, these are really good.
Yeah, his books are fantastic. You can't go wrong with Doug TenNapel.
And the Heart Punches, good gosh.
If you
T-Rex
can go
one?
find
The dead dog,
which one?
The T-Rex with the dead
Tyrannosaurus
dog.
Rex. That's a great book. Yeah.
Yeah, that is like the saddest book.
if you want to read another good one, it's hard to find, but you can find it. It's called Flink. That's great.
I have
I don't know
Ratfist.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, check out Flink. It's a great. It's a very easy read, but that's not the point of the story. The point is, it's about family, and it's fantastic.
I think I got Ratfist, and Doug himself was like, "Where did you find that?"
And then another, if you can find them, I think you can find them on eBay, with David Williams as the artist, Kevin Grievous or Graveau as the was the writer. They did Bass Reeves with Mitch Breitweiser. Those before Mitch's company had all of its troubles. The first 3 issues were published, so I know you can find them. But the first 3 issues of Bass Reeves, not only is the story amazing, but the artwork is a masterclass by David Williams.
The art is what turned me off in it. That's why I couldn't finish it.
Well, I'm sorry. What was that?
It was uneven. You know what I mean? It was like you had photo referenced horses and then like cartoon people, and it was just like my brain was I don't know how to
Yeah, I
do
don't
this.
like mixed
And
media
so
like that. I
confused.
agree. Yeah. You know,
Okay.
one thing, Mike, that I do have fond memory from my uncle's trunk that I was given. There were all kind of comics in there, but there was a lot of Harvey stuff, early Harvey,
Mm.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of books where Jack Kirby is penciling and Steve Ditko is inking.
Right.
Chester has the
Jesus.
largest collection of Little Lulu known to man.
I might. But no, actually, most of that stuff is not the kitty stuff at all. It's before, because they get into
Mhm.
kitty stuff later. This is back with Black Cat and the Flame, and no, Flame was Fox, wasn't it? But anyway, but those Kirby Ditko books. It's one of those. I don't know if you guys. I'm sure you guys are artists, but it's one of those things where you hardly ever look at the main character. You're always looking at the background because of Ditko.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Eisner's like that too sometimes. His early stuff I actually think is awful, but later he
Yes.
really started focusing on the backgrounds. But those
Oh, when it was his
Ditko
own
books,
stuff,
man,
he did. You know.
yeah, it's just insane. The backgrounds are insane, dude. They're so good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I just recently picked up a Captain America 199. Just saw it for $5. I grabbed it, and nobody's doing that level. I mean, outside of the guys I mentioned, no one's doing that level of work anymore. No one.
No, there's a few mangaka that do, but very few. Yeah,
Most of them are dying off.
true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you didn't know, Jackson, or he went by his pen name Butch Geis. He passed away today.
Oh no way!
I don't know
Yeah,
him.
he's another great.
What did-
Yeah.
What did he
And
do?
another guy who was just like,
Old school guy.
and
My
another guy
my
that was still like
personal
just put out books nonstop.
my personal experience with him, Chester, was he was part of the whole Death of Superman crew, but that's
Oh,
just
okay.
that does not touch the amount of books that he's done. Because I know he worked at Marvel a lot. But again, I was the DC guy, so I never,
Mhm.
I could not tell you what exactly he touched at Marvel. Let me see. I know Mike Carlin had a post about it. Let me see if I can find it a minute.
Well, one of the books that I got into in a more recent times, because of Todd, he suggested to look at some of the European stuff, and the one he suggested was Long John
Mhm.
Silver. And it's I think
Oh
it's a
my
French
gosh, yeah,
book.
that's amazing.
Oh my God, dude. The backgrounds, it's so beautiful. The
Yeah, the
Europeans are putting out
background,
gorgeous stuff.
you're going to
Yeah.
be lost for days.
Yeah.
When that,
It's-
I just saw where
Okay.
the ship was pulling into like a swamp, and I was like, I could look at this for like 3 years and still not see any of it.
yeah,
There's so
no,
much.
it's so good. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
worked on a little bit of the other Marvel stuff that he did was X Factor, Dazzler, and then more specifically Action Comics. But
Oh, I
that's
see.
just briefly. That's briefly what was listed. I
You
know
know-
he's got a much larger body of work, but that he was on Action for a long time, and like I said, I've always been a Superman guy, so he was on there for years.
Oh, okay. Well, then I've definitely seen his art then, because I like
Yeah.
Superman. But one thing that when they came out with the New 52 years ago, it
Mhm.
got people just gave it a lot of flack. I never understood why. I kind of liked what they were doing, but those Action Comics, the Superman stuff, with the New 52, they were brilliantly beautiful, dude. They were so good.
I'll argue that to the day I die that those were trash.
I'm talking about the art.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you the art. The concept of the story, they were garbage.
That's
Um,
fine, and
Like his underwear.
people
you had-
hated it. So, but
You had
it was beautiful.
I will agree, because you had guys like you had Rags Morales, you had Aaron Cooter on there. Even Romita Jr. did some nice stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's like one scene I remember. I think it was in the reboot, the New 52 Action 1 or 2, and Superman, of course, in his Clark Kent guise, jumps out of a building and lands in front of what he perceives as a threat, and of course, it turns out to be Steel. But the panel of him jumping and then the panel of him getting ready, jumping, and then it flips. It's a page flip, and then you have a whole
Mhm.
full page of him landing. Dude, dude, dude. That's really, really good. It's kind of like Jim Lee did. One of my favorite Jim Lees is Superman getting punched through a wall,
Hmm.
and it's coming right at you. It's
I'd have to see it.
it's so good, dude. It's so good. It's a cover piece that Jim Lee did, but it's just
Oh, that was probably that Superman Unchained with Scott Snyder, I think.
I'm not. It wasn't that long ago, 5 years maybe. But that's a really good piece of work right there, man.
Oh, well, that might have been the Bendis era, which I wouldn't give 5 minutes to.
Yeah. Once again, I'm talking about art, not story.
No, I know. It just kills me to see good art attached to
Yeah, no, we've
projects,
seen that.
Bendis,
projects that don't
yeah.
hold their water.
That's true.
That's all.
With
That's
Bendis, it would be
all.
hard to see the art with all the fucking bubbles.
Look at my words.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But there was an era when we were when after World War II, and superhero comics were dying out. Of course, they came back in the 60s, but in late 40s and 50s was a kind of a sans superhero age, right? But there was a period that they tried to save it. And a lot of them did. The DC even did this, where they went back to where originally it kind of right in the inception of comic books, where they would have a page of text and a picture next to it, right? Because that's how comics came. It's kind of from the Penny Dreadful. They just started putting more and more and more art in, and then someone, I don't know who it was, you guys probably know, someone came out with the idea of sequential art, and
Well,
then
that was
boom.
how Al Foster did Prince Valiant.
So Al
Mhm.
Foster. Okay, there you go. But
Like with the
that's how
text
comics
and
were
then,
born, right? But there was a period just before that where they would have
Flash
like a
Gordon for a long
story
time is like that too.
and a big chunk of art, right?
Mhm.
Each
Yeah, if you
one
go
page
look
story,
at
one art, story art. And they started doing that again in the late 40s, early 50s to try to save superhero comics. It didn't. Right, and then of course, with we know the story of Stan Lee, Timely Comics, Marvel, etc. In the 60s, but they did start doing that again, and with a wall of text. And there was one comic that they were really, really, and once again, as Harvey was really trying to save, was Black Cat, because she was like their biggest hit, superhero hit. And there's a really good Black Cat that I read was like that, and it's a big old book, dude. It's like 100 pages. It's one of those mini pocket. You remember those pocket comic books?
Mhm.
The little
Yeah,
small ones, yeah.
Like the
little
Archie
bit.
Digest or like the
Yeah, the little
little
pocket
big book.
Like
comics,
a
yeah.
keep track.
And
Yeah.
but it was excellent, dude. And it was like I learned more about Black Cat in that one book than I had of any of the other ones I read. She's
Oh, you're
actually a
talking about the
pretty good
big.
character. What do you say?
You're talking about the big little books. They were like little chunky books.
But they're thick. Yeah.
Yeah, they're super thick. They're like
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the big little book.
yeah, they're called big littles. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they call them pocket comics. That's what they that's what it says on it.
I think
Pocket
he's
comic.
talking about more like the digest stuff, like the Archie Digest kind of deal.
Yeah, no, it's not that. No, this is literally they said it. They say pocket comic on the top, and then they'll have the name of it underneath it. There's a whole bunch of them. I got a bunch of them. But yeah, that was kind of neat. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that having a page of narration, like a book, and then a page of art, I don't mind it. Is kind of my point.
It depends.
Would you rather have the art
Maybe
and
it'll
like
serve
the text
story
like
and-
parallel to it, and
Well-
not have the art covered?
Well, no, the art is unblemished. It's just art. There's no word bubbles whatsoever, and you have because they'll do it in a full open the way they lay it out. So on your left hand
Right.
side, you have a full page of narration like a book, and then on the right hand
Right.
side is art that is pertaining to that page, right? It's just it's kind of where comics started, and it's in the late 40s and early 50s. It's where superhero comics died, right? And then of course Stan Lee and Kirby and Ditko bringing it back in the '60s, and they haven't stopped since. But I
A
just
lot of their
kind of
stuff is like that, where it's like floating text but no word balloons. Like there's a lot of the early Marvel stuff is that way too.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. You know, the comics have had a
Modesty
history.
Blaze is like that because the art is so good. They're like, let's not cover it up.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you know what I was going to say, Chester, is that reminds me of if you have you ever seen the original pages of the Yellow Kid?
No.
That they're very much like that, where you have a lot of prose,
Hmm.
and then there's some beautiful pages though. If you look at them,
Oh, yeah.
they're full blown illustrations, not just a little bit. You're talking full illustrations.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. And but again, the topic of the day was it was a different time when that book was published. I'll say that.
No, sure.
And Yellow Kid was drawn on like a 3 foot by 4 foot paper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Huge.
Wow.
Yeah. And it would take up an entire newspaper page, like one.
Yeah,
one
that's why
comic.
I'm saying go check it out. That even as you talked about the Spirit, that was also printed in newspapers. That was not printed in comic format.
Mhm.
That was only adapted to comics later. And the same with come on, I'm drawing a blank. Little Nemo, Nemo in Slumberland.
Winsor
all those,
McKay is the remaster.
yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
All those pages
There's
were made for newsprint. They were
nothing
not,
better.
or newspapers. They were not in comic books. Comics have, poorly adapted. Now, in my shop that I go to from time to time, I've seen actual faithful reproduction books of it, but they're huge. And it's just like, where do you even put that? You know?
Just put it at the coffee table. So
Yeah.
or put legs on it, and it'll be your coffee table.
Pretty much.
You know,
Just
I
put
just
legs on it, like the coffee table book by Kramer.
Oh yeah,
I
by Kramer. That's right.
I just brought up this Yellow Kid stuff, and it doesn't have the refinement, but it's almost Rockwell-esque, dude. This
Mhm.
Yellow Kid. It doesn't have the refinement, but it's very Rockwell.
Well,
You
it
know what?
wasn't
You
there
need
yet.
to
Like
Look
it was
look at
new.
Yeah.
look at some of. Are you looking at cover pages or interior pages?
I don't know. I'm just looking
They're
at
they're
the.
hard to find.
I'm
They're
looking
hard to find.
on the internet. There's sequentials here, like in a newspaper comic strip. There are full
Mhm.
page arts. There are all kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's
Let's
definitely
look at
got it.
Buster Brown. Buster Brown was a very early one too.
Buster Brown. Okay. See, I learned so much with you artists.
It's when kids all dress like girls. So Buster Brown looks like a little girl with the funny hair and the
we
little
go.
short.
Oh, yeah. Well, until a certain age, boys would often be dressed like girls, and they would actually get to a certain age with a boy where he would be pantsed. It was a thing. It was a thing back in that time. And then, of course, from then on, he's considered more of he has to take on more responsibility.
Son.
He gets his trousers, right? Yeah. But if you go back to the 19th century and you see all these boys in dresses, it might confuse you.
That's a lie.
But that's how they did
Okay,
that.
well,
Yeah.
Okay, now
That's a lie.
let me say this because my dad's older brother, so this is how old I am, y'all, so bow. My dad's older brother actually grew up in the age of Little Lord Fauntleroy. That was a big thing. Boy in Blue, all that stuff. He talked about it because my grandmother was, like I said, born in 1901. My grandfather was born in 1881. So let me tell you the tea. They dressed all
Yep.
children in dress
Yeah, they did.
because
Yep.
they had no diapers. You didn't have diapers. You would swaddle the child in just a blanket, or you might have
Mhm.
something wrap around them. But you let them go out in a little dress like that because then they could just squat down and go to the bathroom on the floor, on the ground. They'd go outside, and they learned very early. That's how they potty trained their children.
Just
Only
like
after a
China.
certain age, when the boys got to where they were trained,
India.
they would be. And that's how that went. And of course, girls, you'd actually, what most people don't realize is women didn't wear underwears like that back in the days. They actually just sort of like little chaps. And That's what you wore. And I know a lot about this because my ancestors actually got to talk to me. Like, this is crazy to talk to somebody that was born in 1901. And I did. So when they told me this, I was like, that makes all the sense in the world. You didn't have diapers and things you could throw away. You weren't washing clothes all day. They would wrap them in a blanket and you sort of pat it with a little moss or something like that.
Yeah.
You had certain things you would use, or maybe some cloths later on. But for the most part, when they got big enough to wander around, they put them in those little dresses. And
And another big factor was like you buy kid pants and they grow out of them instantly, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was going to
that way
say.
they could wear the same outfit for
you got too
a
big for your
couple
britches.
years.
My family, or my grandfather's family, they had something like 10 kids.
Yeah.
So you made sure when one was born, I mean, they all, they're not walking around, they're not doing anything. So putting them in these dresses was like a one size fits all, and then they grow
Yep.
out of it.
Mhm.
So there's no sense in getting them new clothes because they'll just grow out of them like 2-3 months.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and when
yeah.
are you going
just
to get
reuse
new
the same
clothes out? Sears Roebuck
So-
catalog, and you're going to wait 6 months for anything.
exactly.
That's true. But pantsing was a thing.
Imagine wearing a
Yeah.
imagine wearing a hand-me-down dress.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
you were,
actually,
you
Rosa,
were
what
2
you're
years
doing.
old. Nobody cared.
That's true, yeah. But
Yeah.
Rosa, what you're referencing is very much an American thinking, because they picked that up from the Native Americans did that,
Yeah.
and it works. In Europe, actually, which is one of the reasons why the European women strictly wore dresses, right? Was because especially during their menstruation, because what they used to do, the Europeans, is they would have their underwear, of course, but then they would take like a folded up towel and put in there to deal with
Mhm.
menstruation, and of course it looks horrible. So they would, as far as trying to be fashionable, so a dress, of course, covers that up quite well, and that's the dresses became wider and wider to the point where they were actually wearing wire hoops, right? So I think for women, we often talk about the emancipation of women being things like a refrigerator, vacuum cleaners, dishwashers, things like that. But I have a feeling that the creation of the menstruation pad must have been a revolution.
I could
Thank
literally
God for WW1.
I could talk about this. I'm not going to do it on air, but there's a whole lore behind it because they would never talk about it. They didn't talk about anything like that, and they wouldn't quote with what it was they did. Their secrets would literally, it was handed down orally how
Well,
you handled
Protestants.
no, really, they would talk to their daughters. You would go in and talk about it. They knew all about it, but they weren't going to write anything. And that was just the way it was. And so we lose so much. You think about how much we've lost as far as lore since just the last 20 years, where kids don't know Mother Goose rhymes or something like that.
Hmm.
Imagine how much we've lost in 100 years, where we don't know what it is that women did to help themselves 100 years ago, because we just don't know what they did without those modern conveniences.
Mhm.
And the truth is that I was really
A
blessed that
beehive
I
up
had
there.
someone talk to me about it, because they did
I-
those things.
Luckily, they weren't invented until like what 1938.
Oh, what was that?
No, they were. The lady who invented the menstruation belt, her name was Mary Kenner.
Belt.
Well, it was like a little belt.
It was a
Yeah,
belt.
initially, yeah.
Was it like a
It was like a
Batman's utility
hanging
belt?
apparatus.
And it was considered to be revolutionary.
Yeah, and she got it. What I just said it was.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
got ripped off big time. Yeah, big
Mhm.
business, baby. She got ripped off so bad. But yeah. So, but I mean, a lot of people always talk about other things with the emancipation of women, right? But I think that must have been a big one in our conversation, which is interesting. I'm sure the chat is not interested at all, though. But
So-
nevertheless,
Well,
Um,
I'll
All of
point
that is just to say that anyone who draws Orco is disqualified, right?
that's right. That's right. Anyone who does Orco is disqualified. Sorry, Melissa, you're out.
no.
Why
But,
is Armor? Yeah, I guess that's the reason why Armoron's showing the throw up emoji.
What?
yeah.
I'm joking.
It's interesting though. It is interesting how all of how things progress, how things have got to where they are. But nevertheless, whilst you guys are doing this, I should do my job. So I'm going to do that. And let's see here. I'm going to talk about, He-Man. The
There you
whole
go.
the reason we're here. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm sharing, so you guys can watch if you're interested. But let me go over here and take a look at some He-Man stuff. So, all right, let me make sure everything's displaying properly, and it is. Very good. Now, of course, He-Man came out in the 80s, mid 80s, and it was a mega hit. It was a way to sell toys, which they did. And of course, the He-Man toys came from one place and got used by other people in other places. This whole the history of toy channel on YouTube is pretty interesting if you want to learn about it. But however, of
The toys
course,
that made us.
what do you say?
That's another. The toys that made us.
The Toys That Made Us, yeah,
series.
that's a cool
Oh,
series
really?
as well. Netflix, I think. But
Yeah. I'm here, by the way. Hello, everyone.
Hi, hi, I'm Ron.
Thanks for noticing that I came in about 20 minutes ago.
Well,
Mhm.
Oh
You were
God!
just
All
doing
right,
very-
Stan, you're fine. Say something.
You float in like a
oh what? All right. Anyway, let's
Hmm.
take a look here and look at some of the characters because I think this is one of the things that was really big. I know my brother and other kids, younger than me, they all kind of had their favorite character, and I think that was a big deal with He-Man. Like I said, I've seen a couple episodes, but it wasn't my generational thing. So it is what it is. But of course, you got He-Man, and He-Man had himself the sword of Eternium, but he never really used it,
Sure.
and that's because of the
He used
FDA, of course.
bonding for power.
Yeah, but no one got chopped up, which they should have.
True.
That's why they had robots.
That's right. Take out
Yeah.
the
That's why he wore
robots. Yeah.
pink.
Fair enough. That's why he wore pink. But let's not talk about that. But of course, He-Man, the titular character. But I'm more interested in some other ones. You have, of course, Cringer / Battle Cat. He's a cowardly cat, of course, scaredy cat. But then
Yes.
when he becomes Battle Cat, he's badass. My favorite character over the years of just seeing He-Man around me has got to be Man at Arms. He's cool. He's really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, Kevin Smith had to cuck him out hardcore for some reason. But Kevin Smith is a cuck. So, yeah, I said it, YouTube. You heard me. All right.
Mhm.
You have the sorceress. Does she have a name? Or is she just the sorceress?
The sorcerer.
Janet.
The sorceress, yeah.
Janet.
Janet. I'm going to go with that. I like that.
Mildred.
That's good. All right.
Mildred.
Janet.
Janet J. Wizardry.
Janet Sparkles. Yeah.
Oh,
Janet Sparkles.
Janet Sparkles. But of course, sorceress is a font of wisdom, basically, and Tila is being trained to be her replacement, of course. Prince Adam, and he does wear pink. Tila, of
Yeah.
course, a very important character. Like I said, she's the daughter of sorceress. She's going to take over for the sorceress one day. Although it's weird because sorceress looks younger than her.
Yep.
Which is bizarre because Tila always had a pronounced strong chin. She always had that.
I thought you were going to
Is
say
sorceress-
chest.
Not much of one. She doesn't have much of a chest at all. Where her mama does. Her mama is much more attractive and young looking than her daughter. But what it is, Orko is the comedy relief. And I don't know it, but I do believe there's like an entire storyline behind his race or something.
Probably. They probably wrote a story about him.
Well, his name
Yeah, it was like, we're going to make a character that will be the Jar Jar Binks of the 80s.
Hmm Everybody
maybe
loves it.
no one likes
Like
Orko.
Herbie in the
No one likes
Fantastic Four cartoon. Herbie.
Herbie, yeah. Of course,
Mhm.
we get him in the new movie, although it sounds like it's incredibly cringe. But I do know the story with Orko and his name. His name on the paper was Gorko, but the
Cool.
artist put the big zero on his chest for some artistic reason. But they were like, well, we decided to call him Gorko. We'd have to go back and change all the animation from G to O. Let's just cut the G and call him Orko. So,
Orko. There you go.
cost-saving decision.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Nice.
Or like Dorko, am I right?
Well, he's annoying as hell. It's kind of like that strange bird creature from Dark Water, which was otherwise amazing. I hate those stupid comedic characters. I never liked them. Cringer, of
They were
course, are
Because they think
mentioned.
they're going to sell toys, but like, nah, kids don't like that.
No, who likes the
Adults like
dumbass,
that.
goofy character like Jar Jar Binks? No one likes
Only
that.
executives in a boardroom. No one else does.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. We have Stratos, of course, or Stratus, if you prefer. He's half human, half bird, and is one of He-Man's closest allies. And he fights against evil Skeletor. Of course he does. He shoots laser beams because we know half human, half birds do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cross
As
bird
they
in
do.
person.
And He-Man never has to go to the store for eggs.
Fair. Fair. Yeah, I actually had to explain yesterday to my wife, who didn't understand what a cloaca is. Google it. Anyway, we have Zoar, who is Sorceress's Falcon. She had a pet. Nice.
Oh,
But it's her.
she turns into a falcon.
She is her bird.
Oh, I see. So she becomes
She's her own
Zoar.
best friend.
So she can only leave the castle
she-
in
I-
bird form. She can't leave in and of herself. I see. And she
Looks
wants
like
her,
it.
and
Yeah,
she
like,
wants her poor
Lady
daughter
Luck.
to take over for that. I'm going to imprison you forever, young daughter. What a nice mom.
Yeah.
Ram Man.
Whoa.
I remember this character. That's cool.
What? Where does that go?
He was
He's-
like
he's the only,
Orko, but with special needs.
Yeah, he's a dwarf, cross-eyed dwarf that
He-
rams things with his head. It's awesome.
I was gonna say he's the only He-Man character with CTE.
That's what the helmet's
And that's
for.
how they play him, too.
That's about the
You
cutest
know-
little lizard man I've seen, though. He looks super friendly.
Well, he is an ally of He-Man. We got Lizard Man, odd character, I guess, partner with He-Man's team, and so he was because you have the Beastmen of Eternia, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not unlike the Thundercats, where the human Eternians, are not from that planet, right? They came from somewhere else on a spaceship, and they came to Eternia, which
Oh.
the people of Eternia are Beastmen. Am I wrong?
Oh.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure that's
He-Man's
the.
mom is from Earth.
I think you just created a new canon for He-Man.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
thought that was the deal. It's not?
Nah.
No? Okay.
Oh, no, this is the
mother
cartoon. It was
is
terrible.
It's from Earth.
Well,
Yeah.
He-Man's mother.
That's the only
I
way that-
haven't got to her yet. Thanks for
Yeah.
spoilers.
Oh.
God.
Well, that's how they had the Christmas special.
Yeah, no, his mom is human from Earth. Yeah. He's half human.
Astronaut.
And she dated John Blackstar.
Oh, there you go. There's a nice
Or-
little reference. They're very nice. Ethereal Dragon. Hey, Dragon. What's up, dude? But we got Delora. Is the sister of Strato, so another bird girl that doesn't look birdish at all. All right, cool.
She
Cool.
can probably shoot lasers.
Zodak
Tiffany.
is a cosmic enforcer who is
Zardoz.
generally viewed as a neutral character, leaning toward neither good nor evil. Nice. He wants what's best for the universe, although most of his scenes in the show are with He-Man and his allies. Zodak is the first character to have a gun as a weapon, more specifically a laser gun. Of course, it has to be a laser gun. That's
Yeah.
the rule,
Yep.
right? It has to be a pew pew. Can't have those. Yeah, because a lot of times, because I've only seen a few episodes, but it's hard to remember not having the complete canon that it is called Masters of the Universe. These people do have space technology. They fly around. They go to other planets. So yeah. Anyway,
It's a. Hey, are there
At least
spaceships?
in the cartoon,
Yeah, there
it's
are.
sort of inconsistent. Yeah.
but no, there are ships.
He's like
his-
the Watcher from Marvel, basically, in the cartoon.
Okay, maybe, yeah. But
He just kind of shows up and like, you guys, blah, 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 and then he leaves. And he
Yeah.
flies around on a chair.
universal protect. He does, yeah. Universal
It's kind of like
protection.
Silver Surfer. a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Silver Surfer is a bringer of death, but anyway, no.
It sounds like you're talking more about Metron than from the New Gods. with a chair.
Okay. Or
Yeah.
Oh, he's totally like even his mask is like a New
well,
Gods type
let me
design.
go back to Zodak because we're stuck on that. Okay.
New Gods were hot at that time. He could
They
be
were.
Mm.
They were. They were.
based on that.
But to answer your
Now, is
question,
that the Wonder Bread?
maybe.
One dog.
But to answer your question, there is definitely a scene because Prince Adam's mom, and of course I can't remember his sister's name, Shira there, but his mom was a NASA astronaut, and
Really?
that's how she crashed or something happened, and the King of
Mm.
Eternia saved her, and they fell in love, made babies. Yeah.
Did she go back
Baby.
to Earth?
That's wholesome. That's so wholesome.
Did she go
And
back
you-
to Earth? I don't think so. And then of course
Yeah.
you had the whole thing with Skeletor, which I think is like the brother of the king. I think it's his. I
It's like
think
the
it's.
2000 stuff. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. But I know he's an Eternian that something happened to him, and that one of those beast men fixed his face. Well, kind of fixed it.
It
Because of
has
some.
no continuity because it has like 50 different continuities.
Oh, all right, fair enough. But it, it was popular though. Man-E-Faces.
He's an actor.
Wow. In the 43rd third episode, we finally got a new hero character that is Man-E-Faces. He has a large blue metal head, nice. That almost looks like a computer, nice. His face has the ability to rotate in 3 different directions: a man, a robot, and a monster. Oh, that guy. Okay, I know that guy. And of course, you got Fisto, probably the worst named character in the history of ever.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure there's some that like that name quite a bit.
Mike. That's pretty bad, Mike.
What?
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. No, Fisto is pretty bad. I'm just saying.
Not that. Yeah.
There is a rumor that half of the people that designed the show were homosexual.
Well, it's
That
Hollywood,
was
baby.
Prince Adam.
Hollywood, baby. Buzz Off. Some of these names are so bad, dude.
Yeah, I wonder what he is.
It's a character. Actually,
Yeah.
he seriously does.
You can't buzz off with those hands.
Fair. No, he can't. And of course, he's another Beastman type. Mechanic. Oof. Wow.
Imagine if that was your superpower.
That is his superpower. He has a mechanic.
I
So-
can see over things.
I can see over walls.
There's never a bad seat in a theater for Mechanic.
But you will make a lot of
Learn how
enemies.
to stretch like that after DDP yoga.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Roboto, Mr. Roboto to you, sir. And he's from this guy's from another planet. He's from the planet Robotica.
Ooh.
I thought Man at Arms built him.
Really? Well, maybe
Well-
that or Robotica.
Well, we
Well, maybe
probably
he repaired him. I don't know.
we probably have a little bit of continuity issues between the original and the stupid cucked out Kevin Smith stuff. I'd imagine.
No,
this-
because it follows the old cartoon, so that's why it's bad. It follows the filmation stuff.
Well, he upset a lot of people. That's all I know.
It ain't no. He upset people that hadn't seen anything because that's what they do for a living is be upset at stuff. But
Yeah,
if you actually watch the show, it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's just
but,
like
okay. So what I'll
Yeah,
say is this:
weird.
I watched the Kevin Smith stuff.
season 1 is good.
And-
Season 2 was just terrible.
I wouldn't.
Like
No,
season 2,
it was
clear they had no plan. It was just like,
it was completely cucking He-Man the whole way. He is
Yeah, well,
only
cer-
there in presence. He is not there as the hero or the main character at
Well,
all.
you know,
they finished off. They just finished off the Tila storyline. Is all it was.
right. But what they should have done is the same thing they did with The Witcher, though, Elrod. What they should have done is called it Masters of the Universe Tila something. That's what they should have
Mhm.
done. Just like with The Witcher, it should have been Witcher Chronicles or Witcher: The Chronicles of Yennefer. They should have done that.
They don't do that. They bait and switch. They don't.
They do, and that's what pisses people off. Because if you go and watch well, it got bad after, but if you watch the season 1 particularly, if you watch that and understanding that, oh, it's the story of Yennefer, which it is, and you watch it like that, it's actually pretty good.
Right. There's nothing wrong with having a
No.
spin-off series.
But that's right, but they're bait and switching you though. Instead of just telling you,
That's
hey,
fun.
this is the Chronicle of Yennefer, they're trying to draw people in with The Witcher, and of course having Henry Cavill as The Witcher, and he hardly shows up in the series. He's hardly there. Right? Because it's not about him, it's about Yennefer. And if you look at it like that, it's pretty good, because I did. And it got the second season was horrible. But season 1, just kind of the origin of Yennefer, it was pretty good actually. And I imagine Masters of the Universe was similar. They wanted to tell
I
the
think
story.
the Netflix one, it was just that thing, like they watched one episode and they based the whole thing off of that, and the movie. Because the only good, the best part of the cartoon, just literally you're quoting the movie.
Yeah. That's
clearly
fine.
someone saw the movie and they saw the one Tila episode of Masters.
Well,
that's probably
but if they
all
had
they ever saw.
If they had advertised
They've
it
just done
as
their
being
own
her
thing.
story, it would have been good, right? Because people were like, okay, we're
You
looking
know,
at Tila.
people would have hated it even more because it was a girl. But
Well,
it wouldn't matter.
I
It
like
needed to be its
girls,
own thing.
Elrod.
I'll
It needed
say
to be
this.
its own thing.
I'll say this. If she wasn't a girl boss and she was the character, then yes, it would have been good. She was not. She was the wonderful Mary Sue girl boss. It was garbage.
And she seemed
I
awfully
hate
angry.
to argue, but it just it had all the tropes of the movement, because that was all you have to remember when that show came out on Netflix. That was at the peak of that whole takeover of everything, and then evil and girls are going to do it all, and it's just like it ruined all the characters, regardless of whether or not you want to put a spotlight on a specific female character like Tila, which we all liked anyways. But they ruined her because she was just a girl boss who could do everything, and it wasn't a matter of.
It wasn't even that. She was completely like
she was raged out, hating men. It was all there.
They weakened her.
They did. Because I definitely remember Tila from the original series, because like I said, I did watch a few episodes. And her in that. Well, the thing with Tila is, one, they made her angry because she wasn't like that. Matter of fact, she was quite friendly and supportive of Adam. Matter of fact, Adam had nothing but respect for Tila. He looked up to her, and she took it under, because they didn't have a lover relationship. It was more like a big sister, and she took him under her wing and helped
Adam
him.
isn't into that.
Well,
that was the problem. They tried to make it Superman. They gave it a Superman arc, where it's like Lois is mad because she's been lied to for years. It's like, yeah, Lois would be mad, but not Tila, because it's not. They're not in love.
Yeah, no, there's no relationship like that. But that's what she was, and she was quite supportive and big sistery with Adam. And then the new one, she's just angry.
Yeah, because they added the love angle. So of course she's angry, because it's
I didn't see that.
Yeah, because they made it like they were a couple. Like I said, they saw one episode, and that was what they did the whole thing on. It was
I
obvious.
hate these idiots that don't bother to study the reference. Anyway, moving on. Mossman. Okay.
Mossman.
Sasquatch.
Had a Mossman.
Let me know when you get the Stinkor.
I'm going. Well, he's just got a bad rap, unfortunately. Sky Clone. Very colorful cyborg. He must be from Robotica, with a blue chest and bright yellow arms. Evil. These guys are all considered to be somewhat on the good side. So let's take a look at the evil.
Red Tornado.
Maybe. Now, Evil Lynn.
Yes,
As a good Lynn. Every day I'm evil.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad idea for a character name. This is one of the better names here, for sure. But of course, she works with Skeletor, and but I always got the feeling that she didn't care for Skeletor very much.
Yeah. She seems like somebody who looks down on pretty much everybody.
Maybe. Now, did she have a lesbian relationship with Tila in the new one? Probably.
Oh no, much worse.
She has to get like a kind of a redemption arc, no, or something like that.
Why?
Yeah,
she was pure bad guy.
No, they do the whole back, like they all, like every modern thing makes the villains misunderstood.
Yeah, no, I know,
Mhm.
but in the original series, she was just bad guy.
Oh yeah, because it was just story of the week
Simple.
or
yeah.
day.
Now,
Yeah.
Furface here, or Beastman, he's an idiot. And
know what-
lackey of Skeletor. Skeletor himself. Very nice. He wants Castle Grayskull as his main objective, I guess. We have Faker, which Skeletor created a replica of He-Man. Good name. Mirror
With
Man.
blue skin.
Icor.
It'll fool everybody. He's got blue skin, just like the real He-Man.
My name is Fakor. You'll never know that I have got a secret.
Not.
Fakor. That seems on the nose.
Now, I
have the
remember
chip.
seeing that they mentioned it was one of the first toys here, Mirror Man, but I remember seeing him in the store. Triclops. Okie dokie.
But he only has one eye.
He's a cool one.
He's got 3,
remember
but they're just
Triclops.
positioned around his head.
Oh,
And they
really?
spin.
Oh,
And they
That's
spin.
kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it's a toy
It's
feature.
kind of cool.
Trapjaw. All right.
Yeah, he was one of the regulars.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually
He's
was.
the best.
Panther, I guess, is his pet because he's
Pantor.
purple. All right. Strong Arm.
He's
We
the
got
three
Fisto and
of,
Strong Arm,
Battlefront.
the deadliest duo. Fang Man. God, these names are awful, dude. Jitsu.
It's the Star Wars convention of naming.
Wait. Goodness.
I had
Say
No
them,
bad news.
dude. Say them in a Skeletor voice, and they get so much better.
Jitsu.
There you
Come here.
Wow.
What
That's
have
right.
you been doing lately? Have you earned me any money and power so that I might take Castle Grayskull? I don't know. Is that close?
Sounds
Yes,
good.
thank you. That's much better now.
Alan Oppenheimer, you're alive.
Oh, thank
Chester,
you. Thank
you got to follow it up with the maniacal laughter. There
Okay,
you
that was
go.
pretty good.
Lots
There
of
you go.
There you go.
I didn't even know I could
I
do
had a
Skeletor.
Jitsu toy when I was a kid.
Did
Who
you?
knew?
That was Mr. T.
I don't remember.
We got Clawful. A lot of these dudes with they couldn't live life. These guys. How are you
Yeah,
going to live
maybe that's why
life?
they're angry.
You know, that's her origin story, right? Like,
I guess I can't survive. I can't eat. I'm going to die in 2 days. Web Store. God, these names. Whiplash could be better because he's got a tail. He might whip it around, I guess. Icer. Cobra Khan. Cobra Kai, maybe. Screech. Robot Bird. Spikor. Or Spike. Maybe they mean to say Spike. Excuse me, He-Morn people. You need to have an E for that to be effective. Or Y. Or an I, but E would be better. That doesn't work like that. That's not English. All right. Modulok.
Maybe he's French.
Once again, another dude that can't survive. He has no hands.
Wait, is his name actually Moloch?
No, it's
Modulok.
Modulok. Because he's modular.
Oh, Modulok. Oh, okay. Too bad. Oh my God, these names. King Randor. So basically, the king. Hold on a second. Hold on. So you're telling me that the King of Eternities, it basically is named Randy?
Yeah.
Shit.
Randy. Yeah.
All right.
That's what his wife calls him. Anyone else who uses that gets thrown in the dungeon.
hey,
Queen
Poke the space
Marlena.
chick. You got to give him that name.
That's fine.
King Randy.
Well, he got himself an Earth Girl.
Is Queen Marlena there from Earth then?
She's the Earthling. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Never seen
Um,
Earth Girls Are Easy?
And I'm not talking about the Kevin Smith stuff. This is original canon. Queen Elmora. She was the ruler of Phantos. I don't even know what that is.
Sounds like a candy bar.
It does.
No, dude, it's where they make the pop.
Oh, fair. King Helios, leader of the fire people, of course. Makes sense.
Haven't you ever had a Fanta?
I have 2 in the
Ooh,
refrigerator.
yeah,
I'm
wine.
waiting to drink, actually. I'll have it one day.
What
Lady
flavor?
Edwina,
You got?
grape Fanta.
I'll be back.
Thanks.
I bought 2 yesterday.
Oh, great fan.
She is King Randy's niece. Nice. Queen Ballina. All right. She is the leader of the city of Targa. Okay. He-Man allies. We got Zagraz. He looks like a yogi. I think it's what he is. Zillora,
Cheech and Chong night.
leader of the Snake Clan. All right, that sounds bad. Oracle. Elena, Tila's buddy. Okay. Dree Ellie, the female Orko. Nice. Montork, the another Orko character. Malek. Another one. Garth. Oh, you look horrible, Garth. Stridor, because you can stride him. That's not good. Squinch. Squinch does not belong in this at all. That is a character from a different animation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right.
Huh. He-Man villain
Looks like-
characters. Jarva, Plundor.
What a goofy bunny.
Okay.
Plundor.
Azrog.
Turning in
Mask.
Pink rabbit.
I have no idea.
Plundor.
It's a rabbit. It's a pink rabbit, dude. Don't even ask questions. Shakatl.
Chocolate.
Negator. That's the best one so far. Negator. I'm negative all day long. Is my superpower to be negative. I am therefore Negator. Feel my wrath. Okay. Count Marzo. Once again, doesn't belong in this one.
That was too Emperor Palpatine with us unlimited power, man. Sorry, I'm just going to give you grief,
He was
dude.
a master of magic. That's fine. Batrus. That's not Batman at all. Not even a little.
So,
General Tartaron. The Tartarans. Nice. Shadow Beasts. Fishmen. Bakul. Colossor. Dragoon. I didn't know there were so many. Reptile Men. Gark. Big Tooth Furions. Ice Hackers. Granemir. Burble.
the dragon.
That doesn't belong there either. Chimera. Orcs. Just orcs. Just orcs.
maybe the Hobbit can fight them.
They don't belong here. You know, one thing I didn't notice in all of that was his sister.
Hmm.
They
Because
didn't
you
have-
have your own show. You're just on the Masters of the Universe TV show, I think.
Yeah, but she
Was she
did
in the-
show up.
I think so, didn't she?
They did a
Her
movie
show.
together, Introducer, where they were
I
not
see.
related, but
All
then
right.
they made them related.
Okay. All right. Well, I did my thing, and we looked at. There's way too many, is the point, and
So-
there's more because they didn't have Stinkor in there, and I know he was a thing.
Chester, I have a request since you did Skeletor.
Yeah.
If you have a small aluminum garbage can
Uh-huh.
nearby, put
I
it
will.
by you with the microphone, and I want to hear you shout, "I have the power."
I don't have
Do it.
that. I have a cup. Let me see if it works. I have the power. Did that help any?
That works.
Close. Close.
Well, we tried.
No one cared who I was. I used a Skeletor voice.
That old dude that did Skeletor, he did a whole bunch of characters, you know.
Didn't he just pass away?
Yeah,
I
he
don't
passed
know.
away a few years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's his name? Alan Oppenheimer or something like that?
Alan Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Said that earlier,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's his
Sweet.
name.
He was the original Rudy from Bionic Man.
Okay.
He did a ton of live action stuff.
He did a lot of other voice work too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he's famous for that.
Well,
Yeah.
probably.
Every filmmaking show.
That Alpha Proto mentions the Netflix She-Ra. We shouldn't mention that, dude. I mean, you basically had this this lesbian girl who was given the rights to make She-Ra, and she made this little teenage girl a lesbian, and exploring her lesbianness was really what the show was about. And it's like what She-Ra in that show, she starts out at what, 12, 13 years old. right?
Chester, that wasn't about being a lesbian. That was
Yeah.
another topic. It was about changing.
Oh, really? Was that what they were doing?
Oh.
Whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like
the butterfly.
it's
things.
incredibly inappropriate. I mean, if you want to do that storyline with She-Ra, fine, but make her an adult, please.
Mm-hmm.
Or just don't do it
And
at all. Let's just
it wasn't going to be She-Ra. It was going to be her own show, but she couldn't sell it. So when they gave her the She-Ra
She
license,
just, yeah, that's what they
she
do.
attached it to.
Yeah, they self-identification, self-insertion. I mean,
Insert.
and
Yeah.
it looks like that's the problem we're having with Superman, James Gunn, because
Oh, it's gonna be a train wreck.
it's
You're
really
talking to the
sad though,
Superman
dude.
guy. All I know is you got, and it's confirmed. I don't know how much of it's in there, but it's confirmed that there's evil mutant monkeys from probably Gorilla Island that are doing hashtags for making Superman, hated. And I'm just like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah,
it's
and it's
just
like Lex Luthor. Apparently, Lex Luthor is doing it as
Superman
well.
and Fantastic Four.
Well, the thing with James Gunn is, even though he should be blaming the Disney people, because his earlier younger tweets, which were very edgelordy and very wrong, of course, people were busting his chops, but the drama queens, which he's one of, over at Disney, were like, "Oh my God, we can't have that. You're fired." So he blamed the internet instead of blaming the people who actually fired him. And Creature Commandos, of course, it's all about the incels, right? It's mocking the fans, and of course, it looks like in Superman, he's doing the same thing. He's cucking out Superman. It seems he hates Superman, so good guy to give the guy put in charge
As long
of
as
that.
they make fun of the other thing that hated Superman, the Snyder thing, they'll be good.
Oh, he makes fun of the Snyder Cut too.
Yeah, he does.
Good.
Well, the problem
redeemed
is
itself already.
Well, the problem is James can only has one gear, comedy. Yuck yucks, and it can work. I've seen it work. But
Guardians 3.
Guardians, yeah. But I mean, the thing with it
Guardians
is,
3.
I've
comedy there.
seen a very serious take on Batman, and I've seen a comedic take on Batman, and they both work. I've seen many things like that, but Superman doesn't lend himself to comedy. You see. And a yuck yuck Superman, I'm not confident at all, dude.
The reason why, there's an innocence about him that's still serious. He believes what he, so it's really hard to be a true hero. There's not a way to needle him except by making him just so good that everybody wants to make fun of him. But he's going to bust you if you do that. So, kind of hard.
Yeah, but no, it's just more of the hate, really, Rosa. I mean, one of the things that Warner Brothers had to step in with, and we're a bit late in the game here for this kind of stuff, but they cut a whole bunch because they don't have time for reshoots, so they're just editing and cutting things out. So he had many scenes, like the opening scene of the trailer where we see Superman's got his butt kicked. Well, it sounds like that James Gunn, basically Superman can't super. He gets his butt kicked throughout the entire thing. He's a complete failure. And Warner Brothers is like, yeah, that's probably not good. We got to cut all that. But it's like, well, why didn't you do this a year or two ago? Right? We have them cutting that. They cut a lot of the kind of wokey stuff out of it. So I think we're getting like an hour and 20-minute movie is what we're going to get. Hour and 15 minutes or something like that. Because
it doesn't matter. When this is done, Paramount's going to sell DC off.
Warner Brothers, yeah.
Yep.
Well, they've been trying to.
No, they're going to keep certain Warner Brother properties, but they're cutting things off. And the only money in comics is licensing. It's not in the actual comic properties, and it's not in the not in the books. So the only money that they make is they make billions in licensing. They do on that, but it's not enough to stem the tide of what they're suffering from. So it's over. And I would not be surprised if DC gets sold. I could be wrong, but I'm telling you right now, Zaslav is a smart businessman. He's shrewd for a reason, and he's successful for a reason. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised for a minute if DC gets the axe.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of wondering when Zaslav's going to pull that trigger, because he was brought in from Discovery to prepare Warner Brothers for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so when are you going to pull that trigger? I mean, because we know there's a few people who'd like to buy it. I would think it's probably going to end up with Amazon, but Sony has shown some interest as well, although they're kind of imploding. But I'm just surprised we haven't seen a deal on the table yet, because that kind of deal of that size has to go through the FDA and all that process, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he hadn't pulled that trigger. It's been a long time, dude.
We'll see. We'll
We
see
need
if he
Sony's
can.
toy maker.
Maybe they can salvage this thing, but I'll tell you right now, Gunn was the wrong guy from the start. He does not care.
Well, I mean, if you give him what he's good at, you could get something good. But
Yeah. Hey, I have to step, Chester. I have to step away for a minute.
Sure. Well, I got to get coffee anyway. So what does that mean, everyone? That means Jeff's in
Jeff's in
charge.
charge.
Jeff's in charge. Jeff,
Jeffy's in charge.
I
you
am
are
in
in charge.
charge.
You are, sir.
I am in charge.
That is right.
Be gentle, my friend. Be gentle.
What's the point of being in charge if you have to be gentle?
Oh, fair enough. Hammer them away.
Draw, damn you, draw.
I ain't drawing. I'm waiting on my next eye surgery. I'm just here to like pump up the volume for you all.
We
Go ahead.
appreciate it.
I might be on the
appreciate
table
it.
next to you with a shoulder surgery. Holy crap.
Oh, really? When are you supposed to be doing yours?
If this physical therapy doesn't work, that's what may be down the road.
Oh, you're not having fun at all, are you? I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, you know how they massage my shoulder? They take this
Ow.
metal implement and they rub it hard into the muscles and on the tendon.
Ow!
Yeah.
No. Why? No.
And
They don't get the big
they do that for about a half an hour.
Dude, that's like you don't just like grab it from their hand and then smack somebody back. Just like
No, because my arm actually
How dare
my
you,
shoulder
sir?
actually feels better after they're done.
Oh, it does really. Oh, it's breaking up all that scar tissue, buddy. That's what that's doing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. My shoulder, the problem I have in my shoulder apparently is going back to when I had cancer, because the shoulder is right above the armpit that got all the radiation.
Oh, okay. Then
and they went in there and start feeling around. They're like, this thing is like nothing but scar tissue. So,
wow, you're gonna have a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah,
You're
no,
gonna-
I'm not having fun.
Okay, we can make it fun though. What if we made it like something like how much pain can one man endure? Roar, like that.
Definitely free for you. But
If you buy another 10 books, we'll extend this torture another 10 minutes.
That's right.
What? Then we should buy fewer books. Wait,
No.
Maybe if we buy
Don't say
15
that.
books, then it'll make it easier, right?
Yeah, no, they'll not buy books just to watch me go through torture.
Why would we want you to be? We don't want you to be hurt.
This is the internet.
Oh, wait.
Dude, you can
I
probably
kind
get
of
some
want to see.
play. Yeah, okay, that's a dude thing. Okay, y'all. How much pain? It's like when guys like go and kick themselves in extraordinary places and people watch, like just stand around and look at each other. I don't know. I've never gotten that part of being a dude. Do y'all just literally like? Do you actually go out and just like hit each other to see who can hit the hardest?
Yeah, well, when we meet each other, we usually butt heads, and
Bro,
the one that blinks gets hit square in the face. You know.
Sounds about right.
Then we go have a beer.
what is wrong with y'all? I'm just saying.
Guess who's buying?
That's great. So you just basically confirmed
Dude,
that
rounds
all
on
you-
you. Here's a hanky for the blood.
What? That's horrible.
I guess a hanky, yeah.
So basically, somebody just needs to make this channel where it's just dudes greeting each other and beating on each other, and then clicks.
This is
Clicks.
called Jackass.
Well, yeah, basically, but what if
No.
it was old people jackass? It's just going through surgery and getting beat on by your therapist.
Old people Jackass is just Jackass, yeah. Because they're all like in their 60s now.
Really?
A show named
they live that
Jackass.
long.
It'll never work.
Really?
Old people
Yeah.
jackass is going to be like, oh, watch me eat this 2 slices of pizza and be fine in the
Yeah, they
morning.
kind of did it because Jackass are all in their late 50s, and like they did one last movie, right? And it was just like
Yeah.
they all had white hair and were like limping around everywhere.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
about to
they're
say
all
that those guys at 60, they're not going to be. They're like going to be wheelchair bound.
oh,
I
they're
know.
pretty close, I'm sure.
Guess what? I'm going to go ahead and try to stand for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to run down the street to go to my mailbox. Woohoo!
Just one more staple.
Son, hand me that onion. I'm going to gum it.
Oh, God. That's great, man.
I'm gonna try to open my own fridge. Oh, it's back.
That's awesome.
Crip.
This is great. This is the elevated kind of conversation that I come to this channel to find. This is the only place I can talk
Wait,
about old
you know what?
back.
One thing about aging is like an American 60 is a British like 30.
Really?
We look amazing. I saw one of there was like a commercial and I was like, why does that guy look familiar? And I was like, it was one of the Harry Potter kids, and he looks like he's like 75 years old.
Oh,
Like
wow.
wrinkled.
Rupert Grint.
Really?
And you're
Rupert
like,
Grint.
holy moly! No one gave him any skin conditioner ever.
Like nobody never makes sure that they moisturize properly. Is this not a
Yeah,
thing?
you're like, dude, you really need sunscreen.
Mhm.
And he didn't listen because he looks ancient.
Rupert
Get some
Grint.
olive oil on that.
It was mouth oil.
Oh,
The dreaded mouth oil. Like he looks like he's 70 years old. I was like, dang,
Maybe they need vitamins.
something. I mean,
Aren't they?
Or cocoa butter.
wait,
Or
is it?
okay, so now you've opened up this can of worms. We got to go there.
age, but now
Do dudes
we're-
actually moisturize? Do
yeah,
any of
go
y'all
look at
actually?
pictures of Draco mouth oil. No, I just stay out of the sun as much as I can,
Well, see there, and that's why you look so young.
and
for
I
fuck's
don't smoke or drink.
Boring.
That would be a big one too.
Yes, but do you moisturize? That's what we've got. Yeah, we're asking this question, Chester.
I'm not a black girl. I don't moisturize.
So you're saying no dudes ever moisturize?
Why would we moisturize?
Why would we?
Because you're gonna rankle. You're gonna rankle like a prune if you don't.
That's as
Maybe
it
we'll
should
find
be,
that.
Rosa.
No, it's not. You're supposed to. We had this discussion online because somebody asked me because my skin's actually in pretty decent, I guess, condition, whatever. Maybe there's days, but anyhow, it's all angle and lighting. But somebody said, it's like, just rub an orange all over your face. Just rub it all over your face and just leave it there for now. And then you put a bunch of like cocoa butter. That's it. That's the thing.
Well,
And it's like, no, it's like a $200 bottle of lotion and it's going to make you pretty. And then
Yeah,
I find
no,
out that you
don't.
guys don't even do anything.
No, don't
Y'all
care.
don't do
Don't care. Just so you know, Rosa, here in this village and the surrounding area, the old ladies, excuse me.
what are they with you in the room?
Sorry, I shouldn't have been smoking at the same time I'm talking. But the
Yeah.
old ladies around this area all call me Tamago-chan.
The man who
Because
does not moisturize.
no, a man does not moisturize, but no, because I look like an egg. My skin is so smooth.
The wrinkly man.
So there you go. I need no moisturization. You know how I moisturize? Would you like to know how? There's a secret.
Yeah.
It's an ancient Chinese secret, actually.
water.
You know, water, and nuts.
Nuts.
I knew it.
That's how you do it,
Are you-
Rosa. Drink lots of water, keep yourself hydrated,
lots of
and
nuts.
eat lots of nuts.
Yeah. Now I'll say this much: eating fats, like from nuts. Everybody talks about seed
Yes,
oils
you
being
have
bad, but just like having nuts, like almonds and cashews and those really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome for you.
It is
Fats
good,
make
great for your skin.
better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
course.
congratulations! You don't need to moisturize.
No,
I'll call you Eggman.
you should call me
He's
Eggman.
Eggman.
Yeah.
Got you, man. That's what it is.
That's a good point. You know, I went to yesterday I went to a very famous Chinese restaurant in Japan, and it's on the TV all the time, and it's one of those places you
Uh-huh.
go in, and on the wall there's signature from all the famous people in Japan type of thing.
Oh yeah.
And
McDonald?
no, yeah, that one, the one, especially one in
Okay.
Tokyo, Shibuya. But no, it's kind of funny because every time I go to one of these supposedly famous places, they're all meh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Well, yeah, that's why they're famous. Famous people are
Yeah,
boring.
you're not good, so you better be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
You
just
can't have
around that
famous.
store, there's so many better restaurants, you know? Sorry, what were you saying? Was that Amy?
That was me. I was
Oh,
just
hi,
making a
Melissa.
weak joke. No
Go
biggie.
ahead. Make it again.
Okay. All right. You can't have famous without ma.
That is true. Famous. That's right. That's right. It's a very good job.
Famous.
I
Not
clap
meh.
for you. I clap. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
I'll be here all day.
although I did have an oyster dish that was quite good, but everything else was very, it's fine, you know. But there are better restaurants around. The only thing that was interesting about that trip, of course, the view was gorgeous, overlooking the water. I parked in the parking lot, and I got a pretty nice sports car, but I was surrounded in that parking lot by amazing automobilage.
Well, that's what they came there for. Was for
I
the automobile.
guess, but I mean, my
Mhm.
goodness, there was a freaking McLaren in the parking lot.
Wait, wait. Did you take a
That
photo?
had to
'Cause
be
I,
McDonald.
No,
that's like
I'm not a camera guy. But there was like McLaren, there were Porsches, of course, the Beamer, but that expensive sporty one. There was, of course, there were other stuff like NXTs. Of course, there were a couple of Civics like mine. I just was shocked at how many amazing high-end sports cars were sitting in that parking lot.
That's probably why
Just
it's
for that one
famous.
video
'Cause it's
first?
like
Well, one at a time. What was that,
reputation.
Elrod? Maybe. I
Well,
don't know.
it's because it has reputation
Yeah.
more than being good.
It wasn't bad. It was just very meh, right?
Mhm.
And then I've been to a bunch of famous restaurants here in Japan. They're always like that, dude.
But you know what? If you want to be a successful restaurant, you have to make your food meh, because otherwise they complain about it because it's too spicy or not enough spicy. So you make it as bland as possible, and everybody likes it.
That's weird. But nevertheless, I probably won't go there again. But yeah, it is what it is. But I'm a foodie, so I'm always hunting out good food all the time.
Mhm.
Yep.
Not just expensive or
I
good
don't care.
decoration.
The price is quite irrelevant. It's not about price. It's about, is it good?
Right.
It's about
Right.
the food.
Yeah, it's about the food, man.
About food.
I've certainly been to places where I've spent way too much on food and it was meh. And I've been places where I've spent more money than you really should have to, but it was great. So it is what it is. I don't really think about the money involved. I just want good food.
Sure.
I mean, if it's outrageous, if I got to drop $1,000 every time I go to eat, well, screw that, right?
Mhm.
Oh, how good it is. Yeah.
There are places
Oh,
you can
heaven
do that,
Yeah,
heaven
better be a
forbid
good
we
We're gonna
have
have
one.
a
to do
religious
this.
experience for $1,000.
Right?
Mhm.
Right? Yeah. I think the only
I better be allowed to take the food home too.
Good
well,
little.
Oh yeah.
they don't
nice
like
one,
that
yeah.
actually. That they consider that to be gauche.
That's what I'm
But
saying. If I'm paying $1,000, I'm getting a doggy box.
Mhm.
I did go to a
Oh,
Dutch. I know this is weird, but it's a Dutch restaurant in Tokyo, and
Okay.
it doesn't. Now that doesn't. When I say Dutch, food doesn't come to mind, right?
Right.
But they
But
must be
I
there.
mean, they invented the Dutch oven, so I'm guessing
fair enough. But
food
it's
in there
it's
somewhere.
actually a Michelin starred restaurant, right?
Okay.
And I went to it. It's a bit pricey, not outrageous though, not outrageous. But it's a little more than you would normally spend, right?
Right.
But like I said, not so bad. And the food was freaking excellent. It was like
That's
just
fun.
standard stuff like pan roasted duck and Just kind of standard European white people food. But it was so good though, so good. I even had an appetizer there of a slider.
Oh, like the burger?
Yeah, just a simple old slider, but it was killer, dude.
Cool.
And like I said,
Nice.
that's not a place where you're paying crazy amount of money. It's
No.
like I said, a little high. But that
Sure.
was worth every penny of it.
Now, were they the owners of the restaurant? Were they from were they Dutch themselves, or were were they Japanese people who
I'd have no clue.
just sent it?
Yeah, I have no
Okay.
clue. But of course, all the waiters were in, vest suits. Of course,
Sure.
and they're super high. It's a Michelin restaurant, so it's super
Yeah.
high service. But then again, Tokyo, there's tons of Michelin restaurants in Tokyo. Tons.
Do you think Japan's kind of a foodie hub, even though you would typically think of it that way? Or?
They want to be. Yeah,
Mm.
they want to
Okay.
be. Yeah. So I mean, but you can find a lot of good food in Japan. You just you don't have to pay crazy money either. But you got to kind of think if you're a couple going out, you're dropping $100 to $200, right? Which isn't so
Nice.
bad. I imagine America's probably not so different. How much does it cost for a couple to go out to a sit-down meal?
$50.
How much?
$50.
Well, that's really cheap. That's like lunch.
No, that's my local taqueria. But I also only eat like a certain thing. Yeah.
That's not what I meant, Rosa. I meant a proper fine dining experience.
That was a proper fine dining experience. Oh, how dare you say that? He's my friend.
Now hold on a second.
And
Let me go down
guacamole
to here.
right in front of
Now
me.
Armron's in Australia. They don't understand the word fine or dining. So there's
Yes,
probably
they do. They have succulent Chinese meals.
they might.
What are you talking about?
They might. So Amron, when you go out to sit to a fine restaurant, you take a girl
Don't.
or go with your mom or
I
what have
don't.
you. You have in your life, I'm sure. What is the fare like in Australia, though? If you go to a good
Oh
restaurant,
yeah, there's there's restaurants just like you describe in Japan. The same there.
yeah, I imagine, yeah.
Plenty of those.
Which area has the best food? Melbourne. I hear Melbourne actually, although it's woke as hell, is actually a pretty nice city.
Yeah, they have a reputation for that.
They do. But which you think is better? Melbourne, Sydney,
I've never
Darwin,
been.
Perth?
I've never been to Melbourne, so
You've never? How could you not have ever been to Melbourne? You live in Australia.
well, yeah, I don't get out much.
Oh,
It's a big country.
I see.
Yeah,
Well, it's mostly empty.
He's
So
busy drawing for us.
I've been as far as Sydney, and that's it.
that's so
Yeah,
far.
and for him to get there, he has to cross the Badlands. And
That is true.
who wants
That
to
is
do that, Chester? You've
So you
seen
don't-
Mad Max.
That's true. I got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the chat really
if it
enjoyed
gets
your
Thunderdome?
moisturization conversation, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, in the winter, to be fair, chat and Rosa, in the winter, I don't know what it is, but my left leg does get what do you call that dry skin? What's that called?
You
Leprosy.
get ashy.
Leprosy. Leprosy.
Yeah. Well, it's not leprosy. It's not ashy because I'm not a black man, Rosa. But it has.
No, black people get ashy.
You're not?
No,
What
I know.
the-
I know.
What? Your name is Chester.
Okay. So no one know. I think it starts with an A. There's a word for it. But I do in the winter. I do actually moisturize my left leg. So
Just moisturize just your left leg.
that's all it needs. It.
That's why he has one young leg and one old leg.
You're not right for anything. You're supposed to take care of your whole body. You can't
I-
just do one leg. That's like rubbing just one foot. You're gonna go insane.
No,
can't
I
do
don't rub
that.
feet anyway. Who rubs feet? That's weird and creepy.
No, you don't rub your wife's feet.
Oh yeah, but she's a woman.
That's what I'm trying to say. But okay, so if you ever had it where somebody's rubbing your feet and you're like, oh yeah, that's awesome, and then suddenly they have to leave and you have only one foot that was rubbed and the other foot just dies of
Well,
pain and loss.
I think the problem you have, Rosa, is you don't understand men. I think that's the problem you're having.
What? No.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
No, there
I
are
understand.
rules. There are rules.
We
They're-
have rules.
We do. We do
Do
have
we need
rules.
to? Do we need to air these?
No, we don't. And you're not going to turn us into effeminate men either. We're not going to moisturize. Not happening.
Rule number one is you don't tell people the rules.
That is true. I'm just
that
trying.
part,
I'm
yeah.
breaking the rule by telling her. We also
tell-
don't share our feelings. Go away.
Tester already got like 3 demerits.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I'm probably up to 5 by now, to be fair. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
You get
I do
excommunicated from the lodge, brother.
I could. I gotta be.
do
I
know
gotta be
one of the
careful, Elrod.
I do know
Yeah.
one of the rules is that you don't tell your wife or your girlfriend that you have the rules. You just make them stand around and wonder what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
like,
That's
doesn't
right.
he moisturize? And then we leave out like, like something, oh, you'll love this skin product. And you're like, yeah, that's great, babe. And then you just don't use it. Is
That's
that what
right.
you're saying?
That's right. Yeah. No.
So you never tell us. So
I
how do you
think
expect
my wife bought me this kind of foamy stuff I'm supposed to put on my hair to make the hair stick up a little bit. And she
See?
spent like a lot of money on it. It was like $50 or something
Yeah.
like that. It's still sitting there. It just sits
So
there.
you got plenty.
I have plenty.
just to let her know you're in control?
You know. Yeah. No, I don't think about it because I don't need it.
It's-
Your hair
But
sticks
she-
up enough.
I keep my hair
pretty.
very
His hair
short. I
sticks
get
up
up, I take
naturally.
myself a shower, brush my teeth, and just take a comb through my hair one time. Good. Gone. Done. Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
all
about
right.
Yeah.
That
I-
means okay. So we all
Rose's
stop
reward
talking
has
off.
just come apart. It's just fallen apart now.
It has.
Just-
Yeah. I do put the Axe deodorant under my arms. I do that, and then occasionally I put the.
Ooh, the apps effect.
That's right, and
Wow.
occasionally I do put a little bit of cologne on aftershave when I'm going somewhere
Oh, my.
special.
You're
And
a fancy lad.
I am a fancy lad. My wife bought me this Vulgari cologne, and it's somewhere. But I like the one with the bottle with little ship on it.
Old
Ooh.
Spice, bro. Old Spice is the best man smell ever.
I love it.
Pirate
Other
Plunder.
than that,
I use
agree.
Pirate Plunder myself. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I like it. It works. I'm just like
Yeah,
Billy Joel,
so great.
although Hannibal Lecter seems to be a bit of a snob, a little bit.
Old Spice.
Hey, listen, I just used that little yellow submarine that came in Captain Crunch box.
That's fair.
It worked.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I dated a girl once way back in the day, and she I don't know what her thing was. She was a weird girl, but what she would do for perfume smell, like every damn day, she would take like a lemon and cut it in half and take both halves and just kind of put it under her ear and on the side of her jaw. That was her smell, lemon.
did it smell like lemon?
Simple, I guess.
Yeah, it's simple. She smells good.
If it was vanilla, she would get more minutes.
Before
mom
I know
actually-
herself like a normal person.
My
Weird,
mom
I guess.
actually used sprayed vanilla.
Bit of
Just use
tartare
vanilla
sauce
powder.
as well.
I think my point was I
Mhm.
spent a lot of money on lemons.
Oh,
I do. Doug says, Axe, so you smell like a middle school locker room. I do.
That's great.
But the thing is, here in Japan, in Asia in general, Asians don't really use body deodorant. It's not a
Oh,
thing.
I'm moving
here.
to Japan today. I mean, not the deodorant part, but if they don't use perfume, I'm in.
They don't.
That's like
Um,
that is my Achilles heel.
Well, they
People
eat
with
so
their
much.
essential oils. And,
Oh yeah, God, it gets stinky. But no, because they eat mostly like fish and grass and crap like that, and they
Mhm.
don't smell anyway.
Like cow.
Reese,
Fish
that
doesn't
little
smell.
I
Here
did
I
learn-
am with 20 Kit Kats under my belt.
I did learn something yesterday that I did not know though. Well, yeah, because I went and they to check because I go in once a year for a full checkup, right? Here in Japan, it's normal, and why not, right? So I went in for a full check, and they found a little bit of a lump on my thyroid. They said you better go to a specialist and have it checked. So okay. So I went and did that, and in order to do that, they do like an echo, and then because there is like a little tumor there, and they take this needle and stick it in, and they pull out a bunch of mass from the tumor, and they check and see if it's benign or malignant, right? And I'm sure all the older people have had something like that done.
Oh man.
But
Biopsy.
yeah, biopsy, yeah. And of course, no problem whatsoever. And honestly, all the blood tests said it was no problem. They were just for safety, and I have a wife, so I had to go. But
Yeah,
nevertheless,
you have to do it.
yeah, but you're right. So, but no problem. But I was sitting down talking to the doctor after, and it was very interesting because he was talking about diet, and because I'm a Westerner and I don't really eat Japanese food, we don't have a lot of iodine in our diet, right? We iodize our salt to make sure we get some, right? In some places like the Midwest or places that are landlocked, we actually do it to the water as well. But it was interesting because therefore, because I don't have a high iodine, there's very little stress for me as far as malignancy goes. Right? I didn't know this. Whereas Japanese have a ton of iodine in their diet because they're eating fish and grass, and
Oh yeah.
Right.
so I just got a kiss. Nice. But so they have very big issues with those kind of things, but we Westerners don't because we're meat eaters.
Nom, 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 nom.
Isn't that interesting? I never knew that.
That is.
Different.
Yeah.
That's
I
different.
did not know that about fish.
Oh, you got a big one.
Mhm.
I told her to pick that up in the store, and she got a giant bottle of it. A little bit of overkill, babe. She's back from her jazzercise.
Yay.
Ooh.
So
Did
how
you go back?
how was your insect time? How were they? Yes.
Insects?
They do this weird little walk thing. They look like insects.
Insect.
Of course, I said it once to her while she was doing it in front of me, trying to be cute, and I was like, "Yep, you look like an insect." Now she never lets me forget that I said that.
Yeah. And not only do you not moisturize, but you also said your wife was a bug.
I did.
Chester,
Yeah.
do better.
Do better. I do better. But jazzercise, they do a lot of weird stuff, But she likes it. She used to be a volleyball girl. She did that for so long, playing volleyball, and but it got a little stressful on her body, so she just switched to jazzercise.
Rosa, you drawing?
What
still have the
was that?
shorts.
What was that, Jeff?
Rosa, you drawing?
No, sir. I've got to wait until I get my second eye surgery so I can see what I'm doing.
Okay.
What was your question, Alan?
He still has volleyball shorts.
Oh, that's Elrod.
I prefer the yoga pants, to be fair with you, sir. Those Lululemons do cut a line. I have to be fair. Yeah. But I was we went to the Costco when we were up in Fukuoka here this weekend, and of course for Japanese it's like a major American thing. Ooh, it's so cool! It's so cool. For us, it's just freaking Costco. But I was walking around because I hardly go, and I noticed speaking of Lululemons, they had basically the Lululemon stuff, but of course it's a knockoff brand, probably from China, and it just called Lemon.
Just lemons.
Good job.
We won't specify whose.
Good job, China.
I like my song.
Hey guys, I
Yeah.
gotta jump off of here. I gotta
Okay,
go
Rosa.
area.
Thank
Love y'all.
you.
I gotta
Nice
go
talk
chase
to
the
you.
storm.
Rosa.
Do any of you
Bye.
girls have the Lululemons?
No, I have a couple pairs, but just not Lululemon, but like, stuff you find at Dollar General, like little $5 yoga pant.
I don't know a lot about it, but it is a really cute name.
It is, and they're not too crazy expensive. My wife likes them, but they do look good. Mm-hmm.
I guess they must exist here. They're not. Are they a Japanese brand or are they are American?
I have no clue. It sounds like an American
Give me a
thing.
minute, guys.
Okay, Jeff.
It was like the
Lululemon. Do you know Lululemon?
I don't know.
it was like the Tupperware of the 2000s.
The owners are the owner named it that to make fun of Asian people because they couldn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
Haha, racist. Nice.
Really? I never.
wow.
Wow.
I wish I was kidding.
Never knew that. I just thought it was a weird name.
From the
Wow.
yeah, that's the story behind the name.
It's
The,
Canadian, specifically
There you
from
go.
Vancouver in British Columbia.
Really?
Yep. And they
I guess jazz
incorporated
is
it in
from.
the United States and Delaware eventually.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
No, they're very popular. They are extremely high quality thing, to be fair. So I get why women like them because going to yoga or jazzercise or Pilates, it's kind of like it's like a hobby, right? And
Mhm.
with
I was gonna say,
hobbies, we always want to have the special tools and all the little stuff for the hobby, right? That's part of hobby. So they have the yoga mats and they have the
False alarm.
Lululemon. They have all that kind of stuff. That's part of the hobby. But they are really good quality because like I said, I see them. I just saw a pair. She walked in
Nice. Oh,
because
well,
they're
so well,
much.
I guess you get.
Well, they're much more like a pair of like a pair of pants, like a actual clothing. Whereas the leotards in the past were just this really thin, almost like a pantyhose, like a non-sheer pantyhose. It's
So,
different. It's like a pair of pants.
well, that's good. So you could throw a hoodie or something on over it and go pick up some groceries on the way back and not be devastated.
Women do it all the time. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I think it has a lot of because it is a thicker, proper material. I think it does a lot for shaping. I think that's why a lot of women wear it because it does pull shape in, right?
You know who
Well,
loved
and
Lululemon?
Who?
a lot of times I
Prince
think
Adam.
that
He did. Yeah. Go ahead, Amy.
He wore them.
I think a lot of time that can keep muscles from getting too tired. Like if if it's like a little bit of a wrap and put some pressure on it, that could probably. I know they do that for like gymnastics and stuff. They'll wrap up things that get hurt. So
Compression wraps and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just know it's a thing, and like I said, it's a hobby. So she's got all her little gear and her little Lululemon bag, and it's a hobby, right?
I still feel
I
like it
didn't
would
even
have
know the company was still around.
Oh, they're more popular than ever, especially over here. The Korean girls are absolutely mad over them.
Here it kind of went away because it was
Did
like
it?
they sold them like Tupperware. It'd be like Lululemon parties.
Oh,
It was
really?
basically a big pyramid scheme. Yeah.
Fair. Like Avon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
And I think people figured out like, wait, we're paying a lot of money for stuff you can buy everywhere for like $5. So
yeah, true. And yet they're like $100, so they're not like $5. But I think I'll have to ask her when she comes back in. I think it's like $100. But I mean, Japanese girls, women, they have some vanity in regards to like designer bags and things like that. The Korean girls are pure vanity though. Korea is
Oh
a
my goodness,
crazy
yeah.
place, dude. It's just pure
It's got a brand
100%
name
vanity.
on it.
Yep. Brand name cosmetics. They're just the vanity level is out of control in Korea. Out of control.
Brands were never anything I spent a lot of time, bothering with. It's like, what's one sale? What works?
Yeah, and I think
I
that's what.
actually take brand names off of my clothes because I'm just not a fan of advertising for people.
Yeah, that's true. I don't wear clothes with words on it. I just want something that has quality to it. But one of the things I think that helps the Japanese not be that vapid is the fact that this culture here is much more grounded in local culture. Whereas in Korea, they've completely lost that. I know America isn't as good outside of the rural areas in regards to community. It's kind of dead. But Korea, it's as if they never had one. That's how bad it is. It's just an incredibly vapid place. It's unfortunate. Yeah, no, Korea's got problems. I just think it's teething problems because they finally hit their stride of being a proper modern country. And they just haven't got through the teething process of becoming a modern country yet. They're still in the
How do you judge?
process. Well, when you walk around
Mm.
the cities there, you'll have these beautiful places. They spend a ton of money to level it up and look beautiful. But you just go off to the backside streets, it looks like it did frickin' 100 years ago, right? So
Like
they're still in
Egypt?
that process, whereas Japan is completely
Mm.
modernized and they're decades past it, right?
Right.
So they'll come around, I
Sure.
think.
Oh, sure. We'll pray for them too.
Yeah. But the one thing I had to say though,
Can we
there
still
are.
make the tea from?
What do you say?
If it as long as you can still make the tea from Karate Kid 2.
Well, that
Good.
would be Okinawan, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Matcha? They're making there.
Yeah, that's
Matcha?
Japan. That's not Korea. Well, of course, if you speak to a Korean, though, they'll tell you that the Koreans invented everything that's ever been invented, though.
Really?
No, yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
I told you it's a very vapid culture, and I'm not joking.
Well, they give credit to the Mongolians for inventing them.
Like one of the big
Those
noises they
Mongolians.
make a lot of noises, but one of the big noises they make that I find is hilarious. There is a company here in Japan. It's called Makita. It has a
Okay.
long history. They used to make metal tools way back before we had electricity, and they kind of evolved through the electrical age, and now they make, not the best electric tools, but if you're a professional, Makita, Milwaukee are definitely on the table for you, right?
Nice.
And therefore,
Milwaukee, I love
average.
Makita stuff.
Yeah, no, Makita's great. I mean, it's not the best. There are better things if you want to spend the money on it. But Makita and Milwaukee are about the same, and they're really solid, right? And most professionals in the world, those are the tools they use, either Milwaukee, Makita, and for a little bit discounted price, DeWalt, right?
Yeah,
That Ryobi.
But
we electricians use Milwaukee all the time. It's
Yeah.
at least me and.
And Milwaukee's a good company. It is a good company. It's good. They're good products. But Makita, of course, is super popular. And of course, we know where they are from here in Japan, and they have a history and yada yada yada. But the Koreans insist that Makita is a Korean company. They made it. They invested in it. And it's like, yeah, what are you talking about? You have literally zero involvement with Makita. Zero. But yet they still tell the world they're the people who made Makita and the Japanese stole it. There's no evidence of this whatsoever. Makita has been around a long time, longer than what we call Korea is Korea, by the way.
Are there any good tools being produced in Korea?
Apparently not.
No, they don't really. That's not their thing. The Korean culture, pretty much everyone works for Samsung. You either work for Samsung or a little bit of LG stuff has been coming up, or you work like in the service industry, right? That's pretty much if you're working at factories in Korea, you're working for Samsung. It's the biggest employer in the country. Matter of fact, it's kind of weird if you get at the off at the airport down at the what's that bay we went into and took like in a day? What was it called? Anyway, you go to that airport. There's two. You go to that airport. You take the long ride into Seoul. Along the way, there's all this new construction. There's so many of these almost Soviet-like apartment complexes they built, just all over the place to service the Samsung factories. It's a bit oddly dystopian, Korea, actually. But yeah, they're a one company country. Really, Samsung. Samsung. You could even call them Samsung instead of Koreans.
And they won't be offended?
Probably not.
Samsungian.
The Samsungians, yeah. But and they're really pushing. Like I said, I hope they get there, because the political chaos and the just absolute chaos of Korea is crazy.
Oh, I'm proud of this.
Yeah, no, it's a place that I would say that you might enjoy visiting. But it will be eye opening to you. You'll have an experience you've never probably had before. Anyway, so I think we're getting
So
close.
you're
We've got
saying
a few minutes.
Orko is from Korea? Is that
I
what you're
would
trying to
say.
tell us?
I would say, particularly, he's probably from Busan. Yeah. Yeah.
Never take that train.
No, don't take that train. That was actually a pretty good movie.
That is a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a rewatchable movie because of the tragedy of it, but it is good.
It is. Now they've been really trying to do the movie stuff, and good on them for that. And some of them have been good.
Yeah.
It's just for me, I can't stand the sound of Korean is the problem. Yeah, I just don't. The language bothers my ears. I'm not being rude.
You don't like Korean? You don't like when people say after every word?
Yeah, well, it's weird because it's got that monotone aspect that Japanese has, but it has the curl at the end that the Chinese have. I don't know. It just bugs the hell out of me. You know, to be fair, Chinese isn't. None of these Asian languages are very pretty. Let's be fair. But the Korean it's unbearable for me for a long period.
They always sound angry.
The Koreans, particularly, they sound angry all the time. Northern Chinese, always sound angry. That's true.
Are there any romantic languages in Asia or
no
stuff? I mean, as in pretty.
Well, the romantic languages, of course, are Roman languages, romantic, right? So no, there's none of those over here. Indian can sound okay, actually. Thai is nowhere near as bad as the northern, or what they would say, Eastern Asians. But it's a bit syrupy. But no, it probably has something to do with the fact that I'm an American, and I therefore have an American ear. I'm assuming that's a big part of it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but the only language that really bugs me is
Vietnamese
Korean.
have the term "love you long time."
They do have a term "love you long time." That is true. Whereas French, I'm an American, so screw the French. However, the French language can sound beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Bleh.
Sacre bleu. Mid.
Sounds to me like they're throwing up.
Would you like a croissant?
It can sound beautiful though. Whereas German's a little bit mechanical.
Yeah, it's very hard edged. To your point about certain Oriental dialects, I Thai, Lao, those are not. I don't mind them at all.
No, the Malay languages are certainly better.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a bit syrupy.
What do you mean syrupy? I'm not understanding that, Chester.
Canadians?
I'm not offended. I just don't understand what you mean by syrupy.
It a little bit too much musicality for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But nowhere near as bad as, say, the Chinese. You have the all that kind of inflection. From
I
the
agree.
Chinese.
Oh wait, I thought you were actually speaking.
No,
Sichuan.
I was not. No. But yeah, I don't know what it
Chester,
is. I
Fuck
can't.
my car driver.
Why are you talking about eating dogs?
Let me ask the actual Asian in the room, baby. What do you think's the prettiest Asian language? Sounding.
Oh, Japanese.
I have stumped her with an easy question.
No.
Really? She said Korean. Damn. Oh, sorry. She said, "Do we have?" See, that's the problem with Korean. What's the ugliest language then? She likes the sound of Thai. Which one sounds bad?
See, that's what I said. I said Thai and Lao.
She doesn't like sound of Chinese, even though she's a fluent speaker. That's weird.
She doesn't like the sound of cats. That's all.
Well, no, you just said cap. You know the interesting thing when she made the Thai sound, why she said she likes the sound of it? She went meow 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 is what she just said.
That's how you can find good Thai food. You hear the sound of people that sound like cats, and you're like, that's going to be the place to eat.
That's right. That's right. That's the place. Yeah,
I
I do
found
like
you-
Thai food actually.
Yes.
Meow chicken.
Oh, there's
Some
so
drunken
many great
noodle.
foods. I actually think the Malaysian version of fried rice is the best one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now you're getting hungry.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Oh, those are good. What do you call it? What's that? Nam baby. The Malaysian fried rice. What do they call it? The chahan.
Thai
Chahan.
rice.
Nam something. She's got to find it. It is great though.
Yes.
Nasi goreng. Nasi goreng. I beat her to her dictionary search. Nasi goreng. Yeah. Indonesia. Well, they're all kind of the same though. But they're going to get mad. She said, "Yeah, that's probably true." But I suppose it is like saying Europeans are all the same. That's not really true. But nasi goreng
Mostly.
is really, really good.
Yum.
Yeah. Very yum. And Alan has, yo, very Phil. Poor beast man. He's a beast.
Very fool.
Very fuel. Fully very fuel. Yo, idiot. Go and get me a pizza. All right.
Ooh. Give me one too.
Very fool. You are mine. I'll drink your ass like wine.
I'm good. You know, we could share a Fanta if you'd like. Yeah, we don't drink a lot of soda here, but when we do, we always kind of share a can, right? Or in this case, a plastic bottle.
Do your Fantas have sugar or like that high fructose corn syrup?
Oh no, these are made here, so they wouldn't have any of that. No,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
nice.
Fanta.
Interesting.
that's
sorry.
an American problem.
Mhm.
Do you guys find that the Fanta here in the States has a very weird taste to it? Like there's something.
Well,
I'm not sure.
I know it's
I mean-
different than when I was a kid. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I don't know. It just tastes like a chemical bath.
Oh, Dragon mentioned the Italian is better. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Italian. I
I'm
like the sound of Italian. It is nice. I think of the Romance languages, Italian does
lot of
sound pretty
soda.
good. Yeah.
As Eric would have called it, pop.
Well, yeah. Well, he's and Eric didn't show today. He was busy with something, huh?
He said he was
I
sick.
thought he was here for a few minutes, wasn't he? Didn't I hear him?
No, I
Well,
didn't hear.
we
No,
wanna-
Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see if he said anything over here. I can't make it tonight. I've been sick all week, so heading to bed early. Fair enough. Oh, thank you, Barry. What is that? Why are you giving me this muck? All right. She's gave me this like a bowl of slimy seaweed that looks like a bunch of worms.
Ah,
No, I'm not eating
Enjoying
that.
your room.
She just thought she was being funny. That was for you guys. That was my
Mhm.
wife being funny.
oh, it's for me.
For your maggots, Michael.
It's
So
basically
she's trying to break down the image that you have projected here on YouTube, correct?
what, that I like Japanese food. I've said nothing but the opposite. No, they
that
like
your wife is her husband.
that. My wife is what?
That she's horrible. She seems really nice, Chester.
She is nice.
Not the battle I describe every week.
No. She's very nice. But yeah, Japanese love slimy shit, dude.
Just a different kind of.
Well, you know, baby, you're lucky you got that kiss early because you ain't getting one now.
Don't that like my slippery mouth, Chester?
No, I ain't. No kisses for you. Slimy shit,
Jeez.
not though. There are no kisses.
Looks like couch for you tonight, buddy.
No, that's not how it works at all.
Yeah, the futon there.
Has she ever had okra?
Oh, she
Ooh.
loves okra. It's if it's slimy, they
Ah.
eat it. They love slime.
Nice.
Huh, baby?
Slimy. Salami.
Now she gave me a side eye. All
Does
right.
it glow green?
Now she's
Never
sitting
seen,
there so proudly
Japanese
eating
people
her
on Double
slime
Dare.
stuff,
Oh,
trying to
like a
annoy me.
ringer.
All right. It's good for your hair, she says. Well, that's fine because I'll be bald soon, so no worries there. Yeah, no, it's definitely thinning in the front. I got a little spot in the back. I'm going to be a bald shaved man soon. I'm going to be like Jeff and Eric real quick. Is Jeff back yet? I know he said he had something to do. Is he back yet?
Yeah, I'm back.
Well, kazoo us, man.
Hello. What? What?
Oh, now you want the kazoo. Okay.
Please. Wow, that was
Nice.
I think you need to do breathing exercises, Jeff.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. You know what would be helpful? Sneak into some Lamaze classes. You'll be good. And the ladies won't mind at all, I'm sure.
Yeah, that won't be it.
Actually, my first kid being born has sworn me off Lamaze. I remember my wife was there and she was having contractions, and I'm like going, "Okay, remember your breathing exercises." And she turned and looked at me and said, "Shut the hell up."
Yeah. They get mean,
So-
dude. They get mean.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
They get mean.
stand there and hold my
Just
hand.
sit there and quietly and let them break your the bones in your fingers. Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
That's your job. Yeah. The baby having the babies is an ordeal. I've seen 2 of them.
Like, there's the nice people.
Anyway, let's go take a look, Jeff. Let's see what we got. And of course,
the other story is that nurse goes, "So do you guys want videos of it?" And we both, like, in unison said, "No."
God no. Why would you want a video of something like that? It's a horror show.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, Jeff, let's go take a look at our He-Man Masters of the Universe, of course. It's unfortunate we can't actually get a movie on Eternia that isn't animated because they did the thing with Dolph Lundgren, and of course they had to go to Earth because of budget, and now they're doing another live-action He-Man. And where are they going? Earth. What the hell, dude? Why can't you give us Eternia, man?
But I'm still thinking Eternia is going to be like 5 minutes because money.
Well,
Yeah.
the CG on it would cost $3 billion. So
Oh, 3 million. Hmm.
Them though.
Well, they could just kind of do it
They're
like,
using AI now.
fantasy Earth thing. Just don't call it Earth. Say it's Eternia.
Well, they had the
Yeah, even though it's like the Gabriel
there were
Mountains.
set pictures of like the mouth and bridge of Castle Grayskull.
Hmm.
Like that's the part they built, and of course the rest will be CGI or miniature or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the costumes were either people in robes to cover the costumes, or it was like really bad costumes.
Oh, if you see Prince Adam in his pink shirt, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm like, no, member berries. Thanks.
Well, to be
Tired of
fair, no one really has meant much expectation for it. Let's be fair. But anyway, we're taking a look here, and of course, we're looking at Armoron, our Australian buddy, who has come in and just given us a straight up He-Man, and it's, dude, Jeff, this is epic, dude. This is really good.
yeah, I figured he'd do a busty She-Ra.
So, me too, but no, that's killer, dude.
Yeah.
What was it?
Just a kind of a redraw of that classic pose of his.
It is, the Power
Yeah, yeah,
Grayskull
yeah.
moment, but it's colored out beautiful. The lightning, it's really good, dude.
Good
And I
job,
think
Armor.
Lightning was pretty.
It is
It's
great.
a pen brush. Yeah, it's really good.
And what is he standing on?
A mound of some sort.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were
Rock-
doing the
I guess
skull.
a big rock mountain
Just a
or
big
whatever.
rock, yeah. I like it though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the shoulders of Thundar.
Yeah, that's really cool though. Very, very good. If you guys like what Armoron has done today, it's a beautiful offer. Please go vote for him in the straw poll. That's really good. Let's see here. Next, we're coming over to Amy, and we, of course, we have a very, very, very effeminate Adam, who is doing something inappropriate to poor Cringer,
Doesn't he write on his cat anyway?
or Cringer's getting pet. I think he's being pet. That's what's happening. What do you think, Jeff?
I'm going to
Who's
say
the girl?
he's being pet.
He is being petted. But of course, she nailed it because Prince Adam is extremely effeminate.
Pretty lady.
He came out all right.
No, I think it did. It looks like Prince Adam, not He-Man. And Cringer's great, actually.
He's a fun looking. He is. He like looks. I was like, when you draw tigers, you usually think they either have that look that's kind of serious or calculating or time. Like, no, Cringer looks kind of nervous most of the time. Like, okay,
Well, he
I'm
is a
nervous.
Cringer.
It's his name.
Now, baby, how do you go from slimy seaweed to shepherd's pie?
We got to chase it down with something.
That was, she said, that was my appetizer. All right, fine. Goodness gracious.
Well, in case the shepherd's pie is dry, the slimy stuff lubricates it all the way down.
Now, to be fair, her shepherd's pie is pretty good. She actually does that pretty well. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But it's a newer dish too, because she hadn't been making it for very long, but she does make a good shepherd's pie. She got the cheese topping crisp correct, which is very important, right?
Yes.
And she's cheating. She's still drawing. Stop.
Oh, well, always. But anyway, if you like what Amy has been doing here with this Prince Adam and, of course, Cringer, go for a straw poll. It is very nice. Thank you very much, Amy. Let's move along over to Honey. Now, Honey has done an Orko here, and he's having a little bit of a fly. Go. Let it go.
Okay.
Yeah, just Orko flying along, being old stupid Orko.
Yep. Waving his little, wiggling his fingers, casting magic as he goes.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought he was just so feeble and frail that the wind just moves his hands
Alyssa,
around.
that was my dream.
Oh my gosh! Awesome! I created.
Oh, he's
I
from a
created
Bizarro
my
World.
character.
That's what it was.
Lefty.
He was a Bizarro World character where on his planet he's an amazing sorcerer, but on Eternia everything's backwards, so he's terrible.
Is that the
Really?
the lore?
Yeah, that was his thing.
The lore or the lie? But either way, he's just comic relief, and he fills that spot quite well. Of course, we have other comedic reliefs. There's quite a bit of comedy in He-Man, actually, but not to be too serious. Whereas Thundar the Barbarian was a bit different. I don't think there was comedic relief. I mean,
Really?
Ma Ukla,
Ukla the Mom.
but he wasn't
yeah.
funny though. But it is different. There was a lot of comedy in He-Man. Jeff, you got anything to say about Honey's work today?
It's very good.
Yeah, it's cute.
Cute.
It's very nice. I love the back of his dress flow. That's really nice.
Oh, that was tricky, but yeah, that was. But it's some of the funnest stuff to animate if you can get it to work right.
Yeah, it looks great. If you guys like what Melissa's done, please vote for her in the straw poll. Let's now. Mike is not displaying for some reason. Now
Okay,
he
how
is.
about now?
Okay, now you are. There you go. Very good. And we got He-Man barreling into action with a shield. That's nice.
Oh, cool.
I don't recall him because I don't really know the show. So he had a shield too. I didn't know that.
The
I think
action
it came
figure
with a shield
came
as
with
an
the
accessory.
sword, the shield, and a battle axe.
Yeah, the toy.
The axe.
That
So-
battle axe was badass. That's
And
my
that's
favorite
just
was
it.
battle axe.
So, as other
Mhm.
people were talking about the show, I watched it a little bit, but I had more fun with the toys than I ever did.
Oh
with
man, sure.
And the lore for the toys is cooler too. No Prince Adam.
yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I liked my GI Joes and firecrackers. They go
yeah,
together
I have
well.
my Joes too. Oh yeah. But
Yeah, that's
I
those would fight giants and the He-Man guys.
in the
That's
draw
right.
along Chester, I have an older one later on that you'll see.
Oh,
It's an
okay.
older one, so it doesn't
Okay.
count. Tonight's piece here is what counts.
No, very nice. What do you think, Jeff?
Really nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Whoa.
Very good. So if you guys like what Two Banana Mike has done, please vote from the straw poll. Let's take a move over here to Alan. And Alan has this kind of falls into his atrocity a little bit, I'd say. But dude, you almost finished this completely with all your ink work. There's only a pinky knot. So you got real close with this one, dude. Unfortunately, Skeletor is reprimanding him as being a very fool. I don't know why fool and fuel come so close together, but he's been bonked with a newspaper. And what's the dude in the back? That's the Lockjaw, is it?
That's the one I didn't do.
Trapjaw.
Trapjaw is my favorite.
Yeah,
Which
Trapjaw.
I don't know why I didn't do. I started to, but it failed.
If I see, yeah.
We ran out of time.
He's got a lot of spiky clothing, though. His clothing is quite spiky.
I think it's his body. But
You
yeah,
think?
he's spiky toy. He was a spiky toy.
Mhm.
I'm with Banana, where I played more with the toys and actually watched the show.
My brothers loved the show. So I was like, I sat through it every day, but I was like, wait, who's Prince Adam?
You know,
My dad was a fan. He showed me. He actually introduced me to the show. So he also had like Grayskull and some of the toys with it too. So
yeah,
the toys came with little comics, and in the original origin, He-Man was just a really strong like barbarian guy with no shoes, who
And they
saves
had
the
some-
sorcerer's life. So she gives him like armor that makes him stronger, a magic sword, a magic axe, a magic shield.
And do you remember all the beautiful Earl Norham artwork?
Yes.
That was great stuff.
And the coloring is amazing too in those.
Mm-hmm.
Better than comics of
To
the
me,
time.
the show was always like whatever.
Yeah.
The show was like whatever. Like okay, the 2003 or 2000 series was a lot better. But
Yeah, because it was more like Lord of the
It was all
Rings
about
came
the
out,
toys.
so they could make it more serious, and there wasn't the restrictions to make it a kiddie show. Or
Yeah.
using old script,
Exactly.
animation
Yeah.
cartoons,
Yeah.
like He-Man did. Because He-Man was just a lot of old Fat Albert scripts that they redid.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Filmation just did the same cartoon like over and over. The only thing they really differed on was like Flash Gordon, because everybody loved the subject.
Yeah, Flash is cool.
I have the power.
And even Flash like falls apart after they
I'm fed
and then they find like a little pink dragon, and it's like, oh, it becomes He-Man because they introduce an Orko character.
Very good. Cool. I like it. If you guys like what Alan has done, please vote for him the straw poll. It's really good. What do you think, baby? She said it's very good in Japanese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
You didn't ask me.
Oh, what do you think?
It's very nice.
It is very nice. It's very. She just gave me a little bit more grape knee high, which is good.
Oh.
Yay.
It's awesome.
I like it. With the grape knee high from when I was a kid, which was what from Royal Crown, right? I think it was the name of the company, Royal
Yeah, I
Crown
think
or something.
so.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The Fanta doesn't have as deep a grape flavor, but it's pretty close. Anybody else ever have any of the Royal Crown knee highs? They made really good birch beer too.
All they have is peach
The
tea.
only
I know.
RC I've ever seen was just their cola.
No, the root beer is good. The cream soda, so. The birch beer I loved. The grape, these are all knee high products. The grape knee
What was the
high.
one with the Indian? Like the cherry one with the Indian chief's head on the can.
Well, that was like
It's like Big Red or something.
Choho Cola, right?
I don't know. It's like Big Red or something. It was like a red cherry, kind
Yeah,
of like
but
Cheerwine. But
I'm pretty sure the company was Choho Cola, though.
I don't know.
Well, there's a red pop. But
Cholo
that's
Cola?
Faygo.
Old stuff. I remember
First
Mellow
one
Yellow.
I drink is Moon Mist, so I don't know.
Yeah, but those
Mellow
old those things were pretty good, for sure. Although the best birch beer I ever had was homemade by a mom and pop store down the road from me. That was good. Anyway, vote for Alan. It's good. All right. Let's see what else we got here. And now we're going on Jason here, Mr. Motion, of course. Wow. Now this is a very serious He-Man that is going to do damage to somebody, which I would love to see. I'd love to see an adult version of He-Man. It would be cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
But he has the same morals and that the original He-Man.
I mean, just that he uses his sword and is actual warrior.
Yeah, and cut people up.
I think they call that Conan.
They do.
There were a lot of amputees that worked for Skeletor, so we know he used a sword.
But Conan's a little bit more sexually abusey.
No,
a little bit.
Or he would be called barbarian.
When's the Conan I ever heard? Never guys.
Yeah, but
Conan's pretty bad. Pineapple soda, pineapple Fanta. I've never tried it.
Conan's responsible though.
Yes, and I'm not talking.
Conan is not a secret. Hasn't got a secret identity. He's actually a teenage boy. That's a difference.
Oh, so it's a little bit of Captain Marvel and Billy Batson. No, I never thought about that. That's true. I always thought the era, though, that they made with that, because like I said, I'm not a He-Man guy, but I always thought that Prince Adam should have been more young and scrawny and turned into He-Man because he's got the exact same body. How
in the 2000s one is they made him a kid, which is I think because you like different people too, which is better.
Because I mean, how could you not tell one is the other? They look identical.
Well, one has a tan and one is pale.
And but they also carry the same
One's
damn
wearing a
sword,
shirt,
dude. They have the same sword.
One is wearing Lululemon.
Two and two together.
That's fair. The other one is furry. He's got furry underwear. That's true. What was the name of that character?
You never see them together. That proves they're not the same person.
We were talking about old comics earlier. I think it was a Fox comic that had was it Samson and David, his son, and they wore furry underwear too.
When was that popular in fashion?
I don't know.
History.
But that was way back. That was when
the 70s.
Fox and DC were banging heads. No, this is like 30s.
Yeah, but in the 70s, everybody had furry underwear.
Oh, that is true. The bunny fur era. That is true. All right, let me go over here and find Elrod. If you like what Jason's done, please vote for the straw poll. And then here we go. Here's Elrod. All right, Elrod, have at it.
I've got He-Man, a cartoony He-Man. Like, do you even lift, bra?
Yeah, that's about right. That's cute.
And we got a more hardcore He-Man.
Yeah. Much more. Evil Lynn.
Evil Lynn I didn't finish because I did another Evil Lynn.
Yeah. Now, she was a cool character. I actually liked her as a bad guy better than Skeletor, to be honest. Well, she's more evil.
She has some presence.
Very good. What do you think, Jeff?
Skeletor would screw it up, right?
He always screwed up. Yeah, it is fantastic. It's very, very nice. Cool. Well, if you like what Elrod has done, and of course he produces many pictures, then go vote for him the straw poll, guys. All right, that's everybody, right?
I started on before the Gazoo did.
Why? That doesn't look so bad.
He's like, no! He's looking at his watch.
I see. Well, you artists, what you decide is not good and what is good is always odd to me. But nevertheless, very good. So let's go over here and let me find the draw along stuff whilst you go to the straw poll and start voting. So let me get to it here, and let me bring this up. Very nice. Very nice. All right, cool. So let's go over here and take a look at our draw along stuff. Yeah, all right. All righty, so draw along. Oh, wow, we got a bunch of stuff. Nice. Elrod dropped some older stuff in here, I guess. JD did some stuff.
One.
Oh, wow, there's a bunch of stuff today. Thanks, guys. All right, well, let me get to it. Elrod dropped the older Skeletor I'm sure he worked on.
That was a unfinished painting, but I sold it before I finished it.
Wow.
It was mainly I was doing the background because if you zoom in on the back, Snake Mountain looks really cool because that's all it was going to be. It was going to be a background for a custom figure, and I was painting it in public, and someone saw me like, "Oh, no, I'll give you like 200 for that," and I was like, "All right, it's yours."
Done.
Okay.
Right. Done.
So you notice like under his arm, it's like nothing because I didn't finish out his body because they bought it. So I'm like, all right, all yours. I'm not turning down that much money.
Then why didn't that person say, dude, I'll take that for $200 when you're done with it?
I don't think they cared. They thought it was done. So they're like, I want it now.
Fair enough.
I'm not hanging you around for another 3 hours.
Fair
so.
enough. Fair enough. But that is very cool. JD gave us a piece. I don't know why it didn't come in. But he gave us a He-Man here. Very nice. Very good. Thank you, JD. He doesn't have a chin, but that's all right. Let's see here. Let me just show this old one from Two Banana Mike. That actually looks great, dude. Look at that, Jeff.
Ooh. Love that mouth shape.
Oh, wow.
man.
Yeah. That's really nice. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
He got blood on his hands too.
Yeah, he
Yep,
does.
a little bit
Yeah.
of battle damage.
Battle
damage
mullet
to it.
too.
Very nice. And of course, we got Jason Gonzalez has given us another He-Man. It's interesting. This is the second time we've done He-Man. And I kind of expected to see a whole bunch of side characters tonight, but nope, we just get He-Man.
Because He-Man's
He is cool, but I just expected to see so many. That's why I went through the list. What was that?
You don't have sufficient fist doors?
No, I just
no, good fist, though. That's a scrawny He-Man.
Anyway,
very
good.
Or Jitsu, his racist counterpart.
That's right. Let me go over here to Twitter and let's take a look at what Doug has done, of course. Ooh, yay, launching a survival boat. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's a ride. But hey, you'll survive, I guess.
Whoa.
Good job,
What
guys.
cost?
Good
Yeah,
job,
yeah.
guys. That's cute. That's cute.
Yep.
That is cute.
He's going
Elon being goofy Elon again. He's so childlike.
Well, so far we've got a couple cute ones. That's great. Maybe not Puppy Bunny's cute, but still pretty good.
Now this is a trailer. All right. Paramount. Okay.
Old trailer.
Okay. Getting ready.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Is it?
Do some damage.
Yep. I recognize that opening anyway.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, Eddie Murphy does clean up real well, though. Nah, he does. He always looked good. I thought Eddie always looked good in the suit.
Yeah, he was like posing as a drug dealer or something.
Something like that. But I mean,
Imagine how different Men in Black would have been.
with him? Oh, wow. I don't know. It's, I know Will's under a lot of fire these days, but honestly, I can't imagine someone else doing it. I thought he was perfect for the role. With him
Yeah.
and side by side with what's the old man's name?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, it's kind of perfect chemistry with those two, to be fair.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. They both did. Yeah.
Well, that was young Will Smith before he had too
Actually,
much
this is the
power.
time.
Yeah.
This is actually the time where Eddie was supposed to do Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and he turned it down to do Beverly Hills Cop.
Well, that was the
He
right
did Beverly
choice.
Hills Cop,
That
and
was
it
the
was
right
too
choice.
much money.
Once again, I can't see someone else doing Ghostbusters. That crew was perfect for it. Actually, my favorite Men in Black is the third one. Who's that guy? Of course, Tommy Lee is voicing the character, but
Brolin.
Josh Brolin. That was great.
That
dude.
was creepy, wasn't
it?
It was, but it was really good though. I loved that.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
kind of
he did a
how
good
I'd rather they do. I'd rather have just another actor play a younger version than have like the de-aging thing that always looks
Yeah.
weird and like claymation.
Yeah. Now, of course,
Yeah,
we know what
yes.
Tommy Lee looks like. There's plenty of movies with him when he was a young man.
Yeah,
But
he was old when he was young, so it really didn't
he
matter.
was. Yeah, but no, I thought Brolin did a great
He
job.
just add
in
more
that.
hair.
It was really good.
Like he was like 65 in Coal Miner's Daughter. And I'm sure he's only like 27 at that point. But he
Yeah.
looks 60.
Now he is one of those guys, like Patrick Stewart, right?
Yeah, always been middle-aged.
Now, hold on a second. I don't get it. A gorgeous black girl, that's subjective, who lives in one of the most racist cities in Germany, Dresden. The Germans aren't really known for being racist.
No.
Oh, wait. Maybe.
Are they?
Okay. Not
Really?
Not really, though.
Go figure.
Especially modern day
What
Germans.
did they
but,
ever do to anybody? The
nah,
Germans.
I think she's just race baiting,
Did
which
they
is
ever do
which
to
is the thing to
anybody?
do. Mm-hmm.
We are from the land of chocolate.
Yeah, they gave us beautiful chocolates.
That's why pencils have erasers.
We give you Lederhausens and you make us the villains. I don't understand.
No one from Germany could possibly be a bad man.
No, definitely not. It is
No.
interesting that they can't see. They seem to.
Austria, maybe.
They seem incapable of getting away from fascism because this current government that is so worried about being seen as Nazis are very, very fascist.
Oh, they've been fascist for a long time. though.
Ironic. Yeah, no, it's really bad. Oh, hold on a second.
It was so funny.
This-
Like I had a friend who wanted to live there because he visited, and he's like, "Man, it's so nice." And then he visited again, and he's like, "I won't go back because you get like 25 years in jail if you litter." I was like, "Well, yeah, because it's still a fascist country, dude."
Well, Emily here has a question, guys. Do you prefer the front or the back of her outfit? I think the side. I'm going with the side, Emily. I'm going with the side, Emily. Yeah.
I can show the front of it.
It's see-through too. Notice
It
that?
is, yes. I'm in. Emily has done the
You're in
world a
trouble now.
favor. Thank you, Emily. It's not cute. though.
Your timeline has been violated now.
I love this with the.
It's tainted.
Oh,
poster.
oh, what are we doing here? What are you doing, truck? Okay, you go around the cross guard right when the train's coming. Genius. That's genius. We got a
Same time.
we got a ride. Well, this is how they oil the roller coaster. Nice. All right. I don't know what that's supposed to be, man. Oh, that's war. Ooh, car reveal. Hold on a second.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
Oh, you know what? I've been on that roller coaster.
Oh, you do? Yeah. What do you got to do when you retire? Fire off my cannon.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That's the life right there. Spider Girl. Alrighty, fine. I don't know.
It's Zendaya. Because she's in everything.
Of course, I don't really care. And Otter has got himself a kitty cat or a bunny or something. A bunny. He brought him over to get help. Thank you, Mr. Otter. That was kind of cute. That's probably going to be our cute. Otter, you know, it is weird. Animals will help you and other things out on occasion. It is interesting.
Better me than some otter person.
Ha
Sorry, I was trying to give everyone cancer.
You were, oh, I see. She had fallen over. Oh, that's nice. Try to help her not to die. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, I see. It pulls
Ooh,
him down real quickly. Oh, I get it. I don't know the purpose of this. Forcing
Is it a
themselves to stay
underwater-
underwater, I
underwater breast
guess.
contest? Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know now.
Yeah,
I smoke, so it's probably not as high. But I know when I was a kid, I could get like almost 4 minutes. Because you
That
know,
can
when you're
easily be a
kids, you're
trophy.
always seeing who can hold their breath the longest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the longest I got was nearly 4 minutes, which isn't really very long. What's the longest time period underwater? Like 24 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. 21 minutes.
Oh, I don't even know.
It's something like that. It's a ridiculous number. Because just doing it, I remember when I was a kid, holding it 3 minutes, it was pain, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get brain?
Well, I mean, you don't want to kill yourself. See, that guy did 6 minutes. That's amazing, dude.
Apparently, I think they said when you get water on your face, your heart rate just automatically starts slowing down, and your body consumes oxygen more slowly.
Yeah.
So
Let me check it real quick. All right, let's see. I think it's 20-some minutes. 25 minutes. Almost 25. So 24 minutes, 3.45 seconds. Yeah. That's a lot, dude. We've all done that. We've all played that game, right? Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine doing that for freaking 25 minutes, dude. Jeez.
I don't even want to try.
watch
Not worth
some-
it.
What's your great longest period you guys had?
Oh, I don't know that I've ever
2 minutes.
really.
2 minutes.
About
Yeah,
that 3 to 4 minutes.
yeah, mine was like
that-
340, I think. 340 something was
Yeah,
my
I don't
longest.
remember anymore, but it was somewhere like you said, 3 to 4
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. I think most of us can work up to that.
Mm-hmm.
I was
But
holding it for almost a week, waiting for that Epstein list.
Oh, well, don't do that, dude. Don't do that. But yeah,
I
no,
learned the hard way.
we all went to the pool or at the ocean. We all played that game, of course. Because I think it was with my generation where they started the stupid pool training where you put on one of those like jumpers, like or a big heavy sweater, and you had to jump in the pool and swim to the other side. You guys have to do that safety training. Did you have to do that?
Sweaters in the pool?
Yeah, it's to make sure you can swim with clothing on.
You swam in pool?
Yeah, all the time.
We not have pools in jungle. We have river and hippo. No,
My buddies would do that to hide their boobs.
I learned to swim because there were snapping turtles in the creek.
Oh, well, yeah, no, you got to watch out for them turtles.
like,
That
"Oh,
is
dear God.
fair.
Oh, dear God,
That
what
is
is that?"
fair, dude. That is fair. You got to watch out for
skinny
snapping
dipping.
turtles, man. Those suckers. Skinny dipping, yeah. Okay, when we get a little bit older, of
No,
course.
no. I'm saying snapping turtles, no skinny dipping.
Oh no,
Well,
definitely
my
not. Yeah.
dog, who was like a tiny rat creature, possibly not even a dog, would swim underwater like an otter. Like he wouldn't do the dog paddle. He'd like a rocket underwater. And we're watching him do that, like back and forth across the creek, and there's a giant rock that starts moving. We're like, oh God, that's not a rock. It was a giant snapping turtle. And I'm like, he's just the right size to be eaten by that thing.
Yeah, no, you gotta. Those things are dangerous,
We're
dude.
seriously swimming across the creek with like sticks in our hands to try to rescue the stupid dog.
This is my
That
video
might
for
not
the
be real.
today. These two guys are saving a peacock who fell into a pool. That's cool.
Really?
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow.
That's nice. Oh no, no, oh no, no, no. Okay. Watch out. You gotta hurt him. They're trying to help him though. That is cool. Anyway,
That was a
very
deep
good.
pool.
It's not a pool. It's more of a pit.
That's a
Peacock
pit.
show-offs.
The Devil's World.
All right, so we got today's song from Doug is from Manila Road. Necropolis is the name of the song. But of course, here is Skeletor. No He-Man. Especially no He-Man.
He-Man
He
is
is-
a boob.
He is the scourge of my existence. Damn fool. Get him, Beastman. Anyway, let's go see what we got here. That's funny. It sounds like Skeletor doing heavy metal. That's awesome. Good research, Doug.
What's the guy that does the
He
live
probably
saying
plays that AI
before?
song generator.
That is awesome.
If you're bald,
Sounds
you
like that's
already
what it
had
is.
your best hair day ever.
That's true. That is true.
Until we meet again.
That's cute. He says, He-Man for tonight, the song I used from Manila Road and Necropolis, and I always thought the singer sounded like Skeletor. You are correct, sir. You are correct.
Who's ready to rock?
Who is ready to rock and roll?
Oh,
Where is my evil toupee?
it's these days with their rock and roll music.
Yeah, it is.
He's on an episode of Star Trek, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, as soon as he talks, you can hear Skeletor like in
Right.
his voice, and you're like,
Right.
wait a minute, that's
yeah.
him.
Yeah. It is interesting
He's
what.
like, we're under fire, and you're like, wait, that's Skeletor.
Yeah. It's always
episode was
interesting
that?
what voices that people love to mimic in it. Yeah, that's excellent. All right.
Although Frank Langella is the greatest Skeletor ever. There's no way they can top him with Jared Leto. Ugh.
I'll be back.
His Easter eggs there.
Maybe he'll have that same horrible Joker laugh. Ugh.
Oh, that was awful. The Mark Hamill, terrible for that voice.
Barf.
It's the loneliness of good equal to
Mark
the
Hamill.
loneliness of evil, He-Man.
Now, I have a
Even though-
question about Mark Hamill, though, because he's done a lot of great voice work. Let's be fair,
Yes.
but he has absolutely lost his mind with TDS. Now, here's the question: though, is he truly just one of these TDS sufferers, or is he have his name on a list somewhere?
His name's on a list.
He's an
Yeah.
attention seeker because he's back on Twitter after that platform he was bumping has
Blue
no
Sky,
people
yeah.
on it.
Let's just say when he spoke out against Disney with the Disney sequels, he was told, shut your mouth, you're being cut off from
Mhm.
royalties. So then he switched his tactics, and you will see if you go back and look, he wore a Mickey Mouse vampire shirt.
I
and
see.
that was his quiet way of protesting. He's
I
on a
see.
list. And if he doesn't,
And
and I
apparently
do think,
his biggest hit movie in the last like 10 years is a Jesus movie. So
yeah, and
joke's
they
on
went
him.
off,
The people, yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get
yeah,
in
they went
trouble
off
for
on
that.
him for that he
For
did
which
the
is
new
stupid. Yeah, we were
right,
talking about it. Yeah.
but I think when it comes to his politics, he's left, but I don't think he's as off the rails as others. But I think because of the company he keeps, he doesn't have a choice.
Maybe. Oh, I'm
No.
just his TDS is bad though, dude. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
bad.
Well, the more outrageous you are, the more attention you get. And that's
Fair.
what he really loves most of all.
I guess.
Like I said, he
Um,
went back to Twitter because there was no attention anywhere else.
Well, I don't understand why they can't just, retire. It's all right. You did a lot of great things, dude. I mean, Mark Hamill is famous for many voice stuff, but he had two mega hits, Star Wars and frickin' Joker. I mean, dude, you
Mhm.
did a lot, man. Just retire with your money and be happy, man.
Star Wars alone, he could
Yeah,
retire for like
easy.
1,000 lifetimes.
Yeah.
And he was the only actor who got in on the toy deal.
Oh, really?
Really?
I didn't know that.
He was
That's
because he was a toy collector. So he's like, wait, you're doing toys? Can I sign up for that?
smart.
Oh,
Smart.
nice.
Yeah. But I'm just what I
So it
meant by
wasn't
that,
even being
Elrod,
smart. It
was
was
I
just
think
like,
it was
oh,
required
dude,
in
I
that.
want to get cool Japanese toys that no one gets in America. And that
right.
was kind of the whole,
The whole thing. Yeah, smart move.
he didn't realize it was like, he thought he was going to get like, oh, they'll send me like a big like Shogun Warrior of R2-D2. He didn't think it would be like, oh, 20 years later, here's another box of toys.
More residuals, yeah.
And yeah.
But no, he I meant fame wise. I mean, Luke Skywalker, Eternal, and his Joker is just the quintessential Joker, right? But he
Yeah.
just can't. These guys can't let it go. They're attention whores. I kind of wonder if he's on the Epstein list, to be honest with you.
It could be.
You know,
We're still waiting for this game that he's going to be in that's supposed to come out years ago called a little game called Squadron 42 by Chris Roberts, the Star Citizen single player game.
right. Well,
Yeah,
he
he's,
did.
he's playing a major character in that, like as a grizzled old fighter pilot veteran.
Right. Well, he did
Yeah.
the Wing Commander stuff.
I just
right?
hope I can. I should hope I'll be able to like let him die if it's like if you're given a choice if you want to let your wingman die or not. Yeah.
Oh, I
Let him
see.
go.
Yeah. But anyway, Mark, it's sad. But nevertheless, let me go over here. Who won the Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Fan Edition Masters of the Universe competition? I have myself 7 choices today, and I need to put them in the order of which I think I like best. So let me get through it here. Number 1, Amy. By the power of cuteness, Lester. She cheats. She's a cheater. To be fair. 2, Breast Man Armoron. I get it. It's supposed to be Beast Man, Breast Man. I get it. I got it. I got it. I could go with number 3, Melissa. Orko Lester. Okay. Alan King Randy Alonzo. I am Randy all day long, therefore they call me Randy. Too British? Too much? All right, fine. But didn't know that about you, Alan. 2 Banana Shira Da Mike. I don't know. How am I supposed to say that? You do it. You do it, Jeff.
Shiradida.
Oh, 2 Banana Shiradida Mike. I don't know what I'm missing.
No,
What am I missing? Explain it to me.
It's just nothing. It's just whatever.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know, like la di da.
Oh, la di da, shira di da. Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, it's not very funny. Okay. Number 6, Elrodimus Skeletor's dietitian Flash. Well, you know, you've done a good job, Elrod. Skeletor is quite fit. Yeah.
You could have seen him before.
Yeah.
Those cheeks were massively chubby cheeks, and I was like, "We need to do something about that, Skelly."
He was nothing but
Your
skin
name
and
is
bone.
Skeletor, for goodness sake.
That's fair. And of course, last but not least, we have Jason. Grayskull could use a paint job. That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
It is a little bit old. A little bit old.
For goodness sake, it's green, not gray.
So could someone explain to me what exactly was the difference between He-Man and Thundercats, other than the anthropomorphic animals?
Well, nothing about Thundercats, so don't ask me.
There's nothing. They're nothing alike.
One is for the furries.
Other than Thundercats was an answer to He-Man.
Right, but now
But with
why
furries,
is it?
yeah.
Now why is it I saw every Thundercat thing, but I didn't see He-Man though?
I don't know. That's weird.
It is weird.
I never really got to see Thundercats because it was on before I got home from school.
Ah, no, I always get.
Like they had it on early in the day when school was still in.
Yeah, I know. When I was a little kid, I used to run home, be able to see the Force 5. You know,
Cool.
and
like Batman?
Well, the Yamato,
Battle
the
of the Planet?
Battle,
Force 5.
Force 5 was 5 days a week. So each day they would have a different mecha show, Guy
Oh.
King and Grandizer and things like that.
Oh.
And of course, what was Yamato called in America?
Rubitech?
Star Blazers.
Star Blazers. That's it. Yeah, Star Blazers. I
Star
love that
Blazers.
one.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what I got. Which one did I like better? I'm gonna have to go with Alan. I think I did it. I liked Amy's.
You had
Amron's
Practical in there, so you
Amron's
win.
was really good though.
Mhm.
I like what Melissa did. I like what Melissa did. 2 Minute Mics was pretty good. Elrod was a lot of really good stuff. And yep, I'm done. I got bored with it. Alan, you win.
Yeah.
And
we
it
gotta run
means
away
and
here.
it means nothing.
I mean nothing.
It means nothing. Well,
By
to be
the
fair,
power of Australia.
By the
By
power
the
of
power of Australia.
To be fair, though, that
I
that
think
He-Man looked great, though, Amron. It really did.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. I voted for it. Damn.
You're supposed to vote for
In
yourself,
LA,
Alan.
that He-Man's like an LA7.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but in
Explain.
Arkansas, it's at 9.
Explain
That's
that,
totally
Joe,
Arkansas
Alan.
10.
That his He-Man is
Boogie.
so attractive. He's
Yeah.
an LA7.
But that would be in Arkansas 10.
Oh, you're talking about voting
Have you seen
based on
the
people's
Boogie
appearance.
18223? Have you seen the Boogie
I'm
18223,
not
whatever his name is, documentary?
It's that big
I
fat
didn't see the
fat
documentary.
guy,
Where
right?
Boogie's like, I'm tired of dating Arkansas 8s. I want like an LA 10.
Yeah.
No, I don't watch that kind of stuff, I guess. But I do find it odd where we have so many of these shows that are asking people to grade themselves. It's kind of weird because I guess there's a little bit of universality to attracting this, but in general, it kind of depends on who you're talking to.
Correct.
I mean, beauty and attraction is really in the eye of the beholder. That's a proverb for a reason.
The reason.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
It's true.
It is true. Yeah. But whatever. It's the world we live in. It seems like the West, particularly with America, it's just, at least the culture I see, is excessively vapid.
I guess as many people who agree with that, they're even more rolling their eyes at it.
Oh no, I know normal people don't do that, but I'm going to talk about what's being presented to the world, right?
Oh,
Good point.
Lots of
Math.
vapidness, lots of just,
Well,
no.
isn't that all media in general that they're trying to steer culture away from what's good?
Seems so.
Mm.
Seems so.
Mhm.
Most of the media here in Japan is about ladies who've turned 100 years old in kitty cat videos.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
But
we
then
should have
again,
more than that. in
well,
America,
the
so.
Japanese don't show any actual news. There is no news reporting in Japan. Nothing, especially if it has anything to do with anything that's sensitive or war related or just bad news. They don't do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh, American media is just dead. I mean, I don't know why there are TV networks. I mean, somebody, I guess, watches, like 3 people in a hospital, I guess. But
Politicians.
yeah, everybody else is watching like the internet and streaming. So it's like kind of hilarious that they pump billions of dollars into network TV.
Oh, sure. I haven't seen a TV show in decades.
No.
I watch people repair cars, rebuild houses, stuff like that, physics stuff.
And there's so much out there that no one can watch even a fraction of it, right?
Oh no, there's millions of YouTube channels. Yeah, millions. Yeah.
Or even like Netflix and stuff like that. There's so many shows you'll never hear of till like 10 years after it was canceled. You're like, what? Never heard of that.
Yeah, that is true.
I can remember there was something with Jason Momoa, and they're like season 3, and I was like, when was season 1?
Right. No, it's changed. It has changed. But like I said, I kind of hope that Google kind of gets a hold of themselves and stops being so political and just, I mean, obviously there need to be some rules on YouTube, but they're too political. I hope they shift for that. But the stuff I watch, there's no politics whatsoever, so it shouldn't matter, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Nevertheless, thank you very much, Jason, Two Banana Mike, Melissa, Amy, Elrod, Allen. Awesome. But today's winner is the breast man himself, Amron. Very nice. Sir Breast a lot.
Breast
Very
man,
nice.
Good job.
Yeah, good job, Amron. It was a great piece. It was a
Like, gotta
great
get the
piece.
nipples in there, please.
Let me come back over to it, matter of fact, and show it off. It is awesome, He-Man, dude. That is so killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is ripped, dude. He's super ripped. Matter of fact, he's probably going to pull something. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
Almost.
And of course, Mike is working on something else here. It's weird. Oh, there it is. He's still working on getting that finished. Elrod's starting to put some color. Very nice. Not Elrod, Alan. Elrod is working on a She-Ra. Very nice.
Yeah, I can't believe no one did She-Ra.
Yeah.
That kind of shocks me.
Was she in Masters of the Universe?
Yeah.
I mean, she's a part of the whole.
Yeah, she's a big
In the crossover movie, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, she's
right?
the.
They did a
spin-off.
crossover
But
movie.
they needed a girl
like-
He-Man because they're like, well, let's get girls to buy these toys.
Yeah.
Let's
Right?
make $2 billion. Why make $1 billion when we can make $2 billion?
Well, I don't know how
think there's a
successful
movie
they
that's
were,
on
though.
Streaming somewhere.
Very.
Were they? I remember.
Like as far as the TV ratings, She-Ra beat He-Man because the writing and everything was better.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Because at that
Yeah.
point, the writers who were sort of handcuffed with all the rules and stuff, they're like, "Oh, we don't care about that. Write whatever you want because we've got money now. They don't care."
Well, I
They're
remember.
like the Saturday morning, like the cartoon censors do not care because we're making tons of money, so you can just do whatever you want.
Right, but I do recall the girls when I was young. The stuff that they were watching was stuff like Josie and the Pussycats, Jewel. Was it called Jewel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gem.
Gem?
Yeah, Gem and the
Yeah.
You were
Holograms, I
outrageous,
think it was
Gem?
called. They liked that one. There was like
Strawberry
we
Shortcake
are
was still around too.
we are the Nana
Care
Bears. The what bears? Not Care Bears. The other ones.
Gummy bears?
The Gummy Bears. Yeah,
Hopping
that
here and
one.
there and everywhere?
Gummy Bears. Yeah, that one. And of course Care Bears and Strawberry Shortcake. That was another one.
Well, see, that
Sailor
was the
Moon.
thing with She-Ra is you manufactured a thing to get girls, but I think the cartoon still had more of a boy market.
Probably. Yeah.
The
Turns
toys
out.
sold a lot for girls, but like the cartoon was sold to boys basically because that's who was watching it.
Yeah, I watched.
You know what
It-
though?
watched
they
She-Ra
got it
for
with-
sure.
The villain was actually a better design. Hordak. He was a better design than Skeletor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and his troops were cooler too. The robot people.
Mm-hmm.
His robot, like He-Man's, like Skeletor's robots are literally like trash cans with arms.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
As
Yeah.
you could tell, it's like a last minute thing. Like, I'll just make robots because he can't kill people.
Just rip
Yeah.
off R2D2 and call it a day.
Sure, right. But I think my favorite
What are
thing
kids
though
like?
was
Star Wars.
definitely Thunder the Barbarian. I love that show.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard nothing but good about it.
It was
It's
very serious.
Just watch the opening credits, and you don't even need to watch the show. The credits are just great.
It is dark. It's a
Wow.
post-apocalyptic story,
Mm.
right?
Some of Jack Kirby's best work.
It is great, and that rotoscoping was really good too. In that,
That was
then-
Kirby's design for a lot
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Also part of that.
One he worked on.
yeah. I kind of would like to see someone do something with it that actually had some love for it,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the problem we get with a lot of these remakes is the people involved they have zero love for it, so much so they don't even read the original content or watch it.
I
Right?
feel like Thundar would, but I think the rights must be tangled up somewhere because there's no way no one has done anything with it by now because it's so popular.
It is. I mean, and it's
Hanna-Barbera
you could do really
owns
cool
it,
stuff.
which means
It was Ruby Spears, I think,
Ah,
and I don't know who owns
yeah.
Ruby Spears, so
Yeah.
it's gone. So it's they probably sold off all the IPs to different people, and who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm
Um,
thinking Thundar might be
we
in
got stuck with
limbo
Warren Beatty.
because with what?
Like how we got stuck with Warren Beatty owning Dick Tracy.
Oh, and he's going to own it forever as long as he's alive. He's made 2 different Dick Tracy little YouTube shorts just to keep the copyright.
Wasn't Dick Tracy another Harvey book?
No, that was another newspaper strip. That's
Yeah,
where all
but
the
didn't
popular
Harvey
things come from.
license that though?
They probably did reprints of it, or like the cartoon version.
Something. I
Because I
remember
don't think they
Harvey.
would have done the.
I do have a Harvey books of Dick Tracy. They probably licensed it. They did a lot of licensing,
Yeah,
to be fair. Yeah,
because they couldn't reprint the strips because they would have been too violent for comics at that point.
fair.
Because Dick Tracy comic strips are dark. No one comes out alive.
Right. Yeah. But it seems that my
Like
uncle
Breathless
really liked
Mahoney that
Harvey.
Madonna played is a serial killer in the comic. She's like a Black Widow killer.
Oh wow, it's interesting. Yeah, but some of those old things are kind of cool. Actually, they're
Yeah.
more realistic in many ways, and of course, the Comic Code Authority became a real thorn in the side until you had Stan Lee say, "Screw that."
For one issue.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but he did kind of create something, and then by the time the late '80s and '90s rolls around, we're kind of completely out of the code, right?
hmm
So so it just took one person to step up and say no.
Well, it was a Hays Code kind of thing. It was self-regulated, so it's
It
not like it
was.
was a big deal.
It was. That's true. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what everyone's working on, and we'll get out of here. We don't have Eric today because he's not feeling well, but does anyone know what we're doing next week? Anybody?
No idea.
No.
My
That's it?
memory is too short. Could be the tick. It could be anything.
Yeah, but
You know the tick is on the
I thought
schedule.
we were doing a.
Well, it's definitely be drawings.
it
Probably
is.
drawings.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yes.
I thought we were going to do a another book, but I don't might remember.
No.
Oh yeah, there was a book coming up. That's right.
Well, we'll see. Come back for it because it's always fun to see what the guys are going to do with their drawing. But let's go over here and ask Amran. Hi, Amran. This
Hello.
is a nice poolside, or is that an onsen lady?
What's that?
It's like a Japanese hot bath. But she's
Yeah, I
definitely.
did this because it's your Golden Week. You didn't even mention like Golden Week in Japan or something. That's
Yeah,
like
it
lots
is.
of different public holidays all at once in the 1 week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, everyone. It's like it's a bit of a trend happening now on Twitter.
Oh, is
Like,
it?
a lot of
Oh,
people
I see.
wearing characters in gold bikinis. So
Oh, I
everyone's
get it. I
fun.
get it. Yeah, my wife and I went up, saw the kids before the big rush that's going on right now because traffic's going to be crazy. But we went up, saw the kids. A lot of events going on. But Golden Week is basically a combination of Hirohito's birthday. Let's see here. Green Day. It's like Arbor Day. Constitution. Kempo Kinempi, maybe it's a Constitution Day, and Boys Day. And they just kind of decided to spread it out over a week and just have Golden Week holiday. When we first came here, it was traditionally people would go out and just go see a movie. It was kind of movie time, but now there's like lots of festivals, fireworks, street stuff. It's good. It's fun. Yeah. But
And it
like
goes on for a whole week.
Isn't bad. It's good.
it does. Yeah, no, it does go on for about a week. And it's nice to get out and get like when we went to Fukuoka to see the kids, we were going to eat with them at nighttime. But before that, we went down to the park. They have a nice lake there. Everybody was out with their kids. It was nice. It's nice to see.
Mhm.
And of course, I live in a place where you can go to a big giant cities that's basically near New York size. And you can walk around and there's like no graffiti, there's no one pissing in a corner, no one's chasing you down the street with a knife. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You know,
That's much
everybody's
better than
chill and
Canada.
yeah, it's nice. Nice. I sat on the lake. I like an old person. I sat like on a bench right on the side of the edge of the lake. Koi came up begging for food, which I didn't have. Sad for them. But it was a nice, breezy, sunny day, huh, baby? It was nice. We were being old people. Yeah, we were. She said, "No, just you." Okay, fine. It was nice, huh, baby? Yeah. Old people activities. Yep. Okay. Side eye. Good. Very nice, Amran. Cool.
That's the most fun.
What's your big holiday in Australia, dude? What's your big holiday down there?
Probably
Holiday.
Australia Day, but a lot of it's getting a lot of hate now because it's Invasion Day now. But Australia Day, it's
Oh.
like our equivalent of July 4th, Independence
Oh,
Day.
Does
Sure,
that mean
sure.
you guys are turning against the Phantom?
The
Isn't that
Phantom.
why the Phantom's big in Australia? Because on Australia Day they would give out the Phantom comics.
It's
Is that where
not
that
something I've
started?
ever heard of. No one told
I
me
think
that.
that's where that came from.
Yeah.
It was like it was
Really?
an Australian holiday where they would hand out little goodie bags and there was always
Okay.
a Phantom comic in it, and that's why it became popular there.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I do
Yeah.
know it is weird for them to get kind of all bent out of shape about it because we do have photographs and all kind of imagery coming out of Australia when the Europeans first started coming over there, and
Yeah.
the Australian Aboriginals, not only were they primitive, they were primitive. So you would think they'd be appreciative. They got things like, electricity, running water, combustion engines, a steady food
Well, according to
source.
the British, they were the missing link, and they actually took them to the British Museum and changed to show them off as the missing link to mankind.
Well,
Oh, yeah, there
no.
was a thing going on about they want their those remains returned to Australia. They like
Oh, do
there was
they?
like a story about that. Yeah, the
Oh,
British
yeah.
Museum. Yeah, there was calls for the
Sounds
British
like a Wayne
Museum to give
Newton
back
plan to me.
all those remains that they took for their museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, though, the Aboriginals were long time separated. And when you look at those early photographs of Aboriginals, they don't look human. It isn't like that now, of course, because there's been so much inbreeding. But they were very different looking humans because they were isolated so long, right? They looked very different than any other human group if you go look at those old photos. Now, to give credit, they could survive the Australia just fine, but you would think they'd be appreciative because the Europeans brought all kinds of modernity to them. Oh well, it is what it is.
I mean, they should at least celebrate Quigley because he saved them.
He did quickly what, and he an American having to step in and help out those
Oh, that's
those
right.
Australians
The
down under.
Americans fixed
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Amron. Girls,
Oh,
hi.
man. They're lizard recipes.
Ooh, recipes?
Recipes.
Recipes?
So how you doing,
Are there any
girls?
traditional
Yeah.
dishes for Australia Day?
Yes. Well, yeah. That's pretty much one of the biggest holiday, like Australian holidays there is. We have
Right.
barbecues on the weekend to celebrate that.
Sure. Yeah.
Usually lamb, it's
When
like
is that?
Oh,
it's a big
lamb.
thing.
No, I love lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow,
Particularly
barbecue
Chinese meal?
lamb.
Yeah.
Succulent Chinese meal.
I would guess in America the biggest one is probably Christmas. But
Oh,
Halloween's fun. Easter's a lot of fun. And to be fair, Independence Day's pretty
Yeah,
good
here,
too.
yeah, here we get
Okay.
all our Easter chocolate stuff like in the shops like 3-4 months ahead.
Of course.
Ooh, nice. So you're ready for it.
Yeah. But Easter's nice because it is quite colorful. Easter's a very colorful holiday. Anyway, girls, how you doing?
Doing all right. Just still working on my little tiger guy here, but he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you getting the stripes in,
doing
yeah.
good. Yep, I got the stripes in, but I thought I'm gonna try outlining them
It's just I don't know why. It just seems like a fun thing to do.
Well, they pop. Yeah. You got a little Orko there coming in the
Yeah.
back. He's probably going to transform Adam into a Tupperware bowl.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. That's about as sideways as Orko could
Well,
get.
his magic always backfires, right?
Yep. And he's like, "What? Darn it, Orko! You
I
need to
turn
turn
him
me
into
back."
Caitlyn.
Now, here's the question. This is a serious question. The movie Krull, did that come out before He-Man or after He-Man?
I don't know.
Same year. They were both 82.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, because the Orko character is very similar to the wizard kid
Urko?
in Krull.
Urko, right?
Something like that. Yeah. There's very similar in their comedy. in
Urko
their
was the one
failure.
from She-Ra.
So Krull would be earlier. I mean, the toys came out in 82, but the show wouldn't have been until 83. So Krull would be first.
Wasn't the Urko character in She-Ra like the Orko equivalent?
I don't know.
There was a lady, like a witch.
There was wizard or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A
that
lady
is-
witch.
She even had a talking broom or whatever.
Oh,
Yep. That's one.
there
Yeah,
you
she
go.
was kind of like
But she was
kind of like
she was
B. Arthur.
female Orko.
Well, girls, I'm going to ask you a question today, if you don't mind. What'd you have for lunch?
Oh, pizza. Pizza. Yeah.
Pizza.
Went out and got it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what kind of pizza?
It was a stuffed crust pizza with basically everything on.
I've never had a stuffed crust pizza. Are they good?
Really? Yeah, it is pretty good. It's like a pan pizza to start with, so it's got a nice like buttery crust on it. But then the edge of it, they put like just lots like a cheese stick basically around the edge. So
Can I roll over
and
it?
then roll it over, so it's like
I
like a big cheese stick on the crust. So you eat all the good stuff on the end, and then the crust is even better somehow.
You know,
It's-
I'm pretty simple. I kind of prefer just pepperoni.
Me
that
too.
works. And sometimes
Maybe
that's
so
exactly what you want.
Pepperoni's fine.
Yeah, pepperoni's good.
And listen,
I do
once in a while,
notice.
when you get up and
I do notice that Shaq is doing promotion with Papa John's, and they have the Shaq-a-roni.
the macaroni.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a large pepperoni pizza, or is there something special about it that makes it shakaroni?
I was watching the Talladega race, and they will cut half screen and do commercials on the side. I saw it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they usually don't see
I saw
American
this
commercials.
pepperoni sideways, or
I don't know.
I
And
know it's
Shaq,
better than it makes sense.
well, to me, Shaq has always been kind of a fun-loving image of a character. I don't know what his
Yeah.
image is in America now, but that's always the image I had of him.
No, he's
Yeah,
still like
that's
that.
been a pretty sweet guy.
Mm-hmm.
he's loved by all.
I've never heard any bad rumors about him, and he's never been mean to anyone that I know of.
No, he seems
He's always-
fun-loving.
he's good.
And that's the way to be.
He's always
right?
down for a good laugh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's interesting to talk about basketball because I do watch NASCAR, and of course I've mentioned it before, but Michael Jordan owns 3 cars.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he a
Only
driver, or does he just really like NASCAR?
I guess he likes NASCAR.
Oh, NASCAR.
Yeah, he's got 3 cars.
Well, he's a basketball player, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a race car driver. But then again,
Santa
I think with like race horses, there are people who they're the jockeys, and then there are the people who like own the race horses.
Right.
Sure.
Maybe it's that way for other sports too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
He
just-
he shows up though. He's actually hands-on owner. But no, he owns 3 cars and therefore 3 drivers. Yeah, they're quite competitive, particularly Riddick. One of his drivers. His other driver is Bubba Wallace, who's a bit of a race baiter, and the other guy is kind of young. But Riddick is a pretty good driver for Michael. Yeah,
Nice. Well, that's cool.
it is.
I guess if you have somebody on tour, why not?
Yeah. And so, how Melissa? How often do you have pizza for breakfast?
More than I should.
Well, fair enough.
The thing about pizza is you never eat a whole pizza, so you always have leftovers.
That's my
so
point.
then you're
Yeah, the
eating
question
pizza.
is how much do you have it for dinner? Because every time you have it for dinner, you have it for breakfast the next day.
That's right. That's my point. Yeah.
Cold
Uh,
pizza,
Kinda
it's only
have
good
to.
pizza if it's good cold.
Yeah. My wife doesn't understand. I'll take pizza right out of the refrigerator and just eat it. I don't even heat it up. She's like, "How
Mhm.
can you do that?"
Yeah.
Cold
Because
bread?
if it's good pizza, it's good cold.
It is good. Yeah.
Icebox
I can eat-
chicken.
I can
I
eat
know
it.
a lot of people.
Icebox
Oh,
chicken? No,
down
we don't.
here
No,
in
don't do that. Yeah.
down here in
We
the
eat pizza for breakfast quite often.
our local KFC have broken into the chicken and waffles bit. I actually had Amy got me one of those chicken and waffle meals. Like that was tasty.
Chicken and waffles is really good. I actually first time I had that was I was just playing with a band, and I usually did the Eastern Circuit, but I did the Chitlin Circuit, which is a thing. I know it sounds weird, but it's really a thing. And along there, of course, you're traveling and you stop and eat with the whole group is moving, right? And that's the first time I ever had chicken and waffles, and it was really good. It's a good combination.
Yeah, it's so much better than it kind of makes sense to be.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
it
let's
is.
go for it. Oh,
It's good.
good.
It's good. It's pretty much I don't know the history of it, but it's pretty much a black thing, I guess. But I liked it.
Mhm. It's good. I guess that's why it makes the circuit. I'm like, okay, now a lot of places have it, but
Yeah.
Kentucky
Well,
Fried Chicken hasn't had it in a while. Waffles.
We
It's
don't.
more of a southern thing too, so you know.
Yeah, well, the Chitlin Circuit is in the South. Yeah. But yeah, over here, of course, Kentucky Fried Chicken is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Chicken's fine. But the thing I miss over here is they don't have the mashed potato and gravy though, which is like the best thing
What?
KFC has.
Yeah.
Well, wait, how could you not have mashed potatoes?
I don't know. The Japanese don't like it, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Do they not grow potatoes over
They like French fries.
I mean, they could grow the powdery potatoes that KFC has because those aren't even real.
No, maybe not, but the potatoes and gravy at KFC is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
great.
When I
and
was
a
a kid, I loved it.
I can smell and taste the weird chemical. And
Oh, well, fair
and
enough.
potato.
You're not a
I
proper
can't do it.
American if you're not eating chemicals, Elrod. Mike, back me
You know,
up.
I need real taters.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. Everything tastes like a chemical bomb.
Good taters, precious. Good taters.
Now, you think-
Although, you know what, Chester?
Yeah.
I believe KFC, no, not KFC, Popeyes. I believe they moved after RFK got installed to beef tallow. So I think if I'm not mistaken, you'd have to check, but I think Popeyes got rid of all vegetable oils, if I'm not mistaken.
That's good. Well, I mean, honestly, everyone should go back to tallow.
Mhm.
I mean, what the hell? The food is better when cooked with tallow.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that was what was the lady chef? Julia Child. You know, her favorite food in the world was McDonald's fries when they were done in the beef tallow.
Yes.
Oh no.
And
Simple
there's a
meal.
video of her where she's talking about that was her favorite thing, and then they changed it to the vegetable or hydrogenated oil and flavor and ruin the crispiness.
Yep. No. Back when I was a kid and even before that, food was better because tallow, lard, it's just the way to cook, man. And it's not unhealthy at all. Matter of fact, we found now the seed oils are not really great for you.
No,
I think
they're horrible.
the vegetable oil was
Well,
because
what
of
they
the
call seed oil, they're like straight motor oil too. It's not even.
Yeah.
It's
But I'd
kind
love
of
to see
a
that if
deceptive thing to call them because it's not a seed of any flour.
yeah.
It's
But I mean, if
freaking motor oil.
if RFK can get us back to tallow, that itself would be helpful.
Well, if he does that and just gets rid of the fructose, we'll be great.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
true.
And I guarantee you will see a difference in the sanity of people as well.
Well,
Because where you look at behavior problems in schools, they all start with that craziness of, hey, let's feed them all raw chemicals and fake sweeteners and see what happens.
I think that drug prescriptions have a little bit to do with it as well. But
Well, that would
nevertheless,
be the answer to all the other problems. Like, just put them on drugs and keep them quiet.
yep, that's what they started doing. That's for sure. I'm glad I missed all
It
that.
causes behavior problems because their diets are all have starvation from these horrible diets.
Right.
And then, this kid in starvation is complaining about a bad belly, so I'll put him on drugs.
Yeah, it's
And then he turns
unfortunate.
18 and shoots up in school. Go figure.
Yeah, I'm glad my kids dodged that and grew up over here where things
Yeah.
are normal. Yeah, I am. But
Or
nevertheless,
they get background checks from teachers.
yeah. You have anything going on, Mike?
Just the usual. Find me on Twitter if you want. 2Banana Mike.
Awesome. Well, let us know when you're working on something. You definitely got. Are you any good at sequentials?
Yes.
Awesome.
Whoa, watch your language.
You should do some.
One day.
Now, I love good sequential artists, man. It's awesome. Now, Alan, of course, does lots of sequential stuff. How is your Atros City coming along there, buddy? Alan.
Alan. Oh, still a lot of work to do. I don't want to go any spoilers. Ole.
Oh, look at that page. He finished it. I don't know. Is he muted or something? He's not talking to us.
I just realized Beastman peed on the carpet.
That's probably why he's getting hit with a newspaper. Yeah.
There we go.
No rug.
So, Alan?
Little spoilery, but it's here.
Sure.
Go.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's nice.
There's only 9 people watching, so it's okay.
Yeah, well, it definitely, somebody has taken the acid. That's for definitely sure.
It's okay. I'm just taking pictures of all of it and reposting it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly on Yelp.
Mainly on Yelp.
So if anyone's looking at a review of
That's
it,
gonna have my ass.
When is this coming out, by the way?
It's one of those projects where I do it between projects and life happening. So
When it's
once I
done.
get it all lettered, I'll officially put it out so I can deliver it right away. So, but definitely this year, because I only got 6 pages to go.
Oh,
When
nice.
it's done.
Sweet.
When it's done.
When it's done.
That's what you do.
Thank you, Marmon. So very good. Well, keep an eye out for that. Of course, it is
Looks
great.
good, Alan.
It does look great. It does. What you got going on, Jason?
Well, there's a new t-shirt design. My new Spiritual Warfare t-shirt is, you can find it on my Etsy shop. If you want to know what it looks like, you can also head to my Instagram at creation.jason and you'll see it fully advertised. You can also get it as a tank top if you want to. If you want to hit the gym and, be a spiritual warrior at the
There
same
you go.
time.
There you go.
So, yeah. And also I'm working on my story, my Mighty Crusader story.
Awesome.
Just working on like a whole, just basically just working on the foundation, like the character, all the characters, the backstory, the world itself. That's what I'm working on right now. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
That sounds good. Sweet. All right. Well, Elrod, would you like to say something to the people?
People,
Mhm.
I love and respect you both.
Oh, nice.
And no matter what Chester says, I think we have a great audience.
That's true.
I know when these cameras turn off, he's going to say horrible 4-lettered words about everybody who
I will.
watched tonight.
I will.
I won't.
I will.
The only 4-letter I'll use is respect.
That's more than 4 letters, but yeah, no, I guess it depends on how you spell.
There you go with the line.
Yeah.
Gaslighting everybody.
Gaslighting everybody. Yes. Down with the chat.
To school in the U.S., Chester.
Love.
Well, yeah, but I am an educator, Alan.
And check out my new pirated comic book, Pigopolis.
Oh, nice.
coming out soon.
Sweet.
Yeah. I've only got like 2.5 pages, and they're kind of blurry, but that's a part of the aesthetic. Is
It is.
blurriness because it's
The
made
aesthetic.
for people with bad vision.
That's fair.
Because I care about the blind. 'Cause I love people.
Yes.
You know, some of these people are like, I want bright, vivid colors. I'm like, what about vivid but slightly blurry? Maybe off-centered.
Well,
Maybe
if you're-
that's how some people see the world. Some people aren't as privileged.
It's fair. Well, we were talking about old comics, and I remember a comic came out called 3D Man, and you had to have a pair of those paper 3D glasses to see it properly, right?
No, because most of them weren't in 3D. He just had a green and red outfit.
Yeah, but no, some of the comics back in that time did come out with the glasses, and
They did do
it was
like
all blurry
prestige,
without
like
it.
3D prints, but they
I
were
did a
like
Gen
3D
13
and
comic
just the
with 3D
characters'
glasses.
names because they thought it sounded cool.
Sure, but I would just talk about the 3D effect back in those days. It was kind of
It
cool.
was a Jack Kirby creation, wasn't he, or Ditko? It had to be one of those two.
Yeah, I think they were probably involved with it. Yeah, but nevertheless, thank you all very much. I do appreciate it. Next week we don't know what we're doing, but it'll be cool. So definitely
Oh,
come
I
back
do
for
have
that.
a quest, Chester.
Yep.
I am on a knight's quest, as it were,
Uh-huh.
somewhere in my state, which was the home state of Sal Ramita. He apparently did a mural in a church of like the Bible, but with the Hulk and Jesus,
What?
Captain America, and the apostles. Yeah,
Find that, dude.
I don't know. It could be fake. It could be fake, like the Holy Grail, or it could be real, like the
Dude.
other Holy Grail.
Find some pictures and show us. That would be actually really cool. But nevertheless, come back next week. We'll go to see you and have yourselves a really good weekend. Jeff, take us out of here, man.
Buy my book. Namaste.
Namaste. Later, everybody.
Like Facebook.
Good night. God bless. Love you guys.